It's live!
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, September 26, 2021. This is your award-winning Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1385.
This is No Agenda.
Dual booting my Dominion device and broadcasting live from the heart of Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where we're hearing bad things about Amtrak, I'm John C. Dvorak.
Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Okay, well, holy moly, what's going on with the Amtrak?
There's a big train wreck up in the Montana, I think.
Oh, I did read that. 3 people died, I think? Or was it it's gotten
50
worse?
Injured. It was a
derailment.
Yeah. Well,
do you remember, there was a period, gosh, I want to say maybe 8-9 years ago when there were a lot of derailments. Wasn't there a derailment near New York even?
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, I do.
Huh.
Yeah, there was, like the guy, like the conductor was going way too fast and just flew out of the corner. Yeah, a lot of that shit. Well, 2 important things to start off with today. First of all, today is National Situational Awareness Day.
That's why I'm looking left and right. Is that what the reason? Pretty
much. National Situational Awareness Day comes up on September 26th every year. The holiday. It's a holiday. Wow. The holiday. I want the day off. The holiday helps create more awareness about the importance of personal safety. Since we're all responsible for our personal safety most of the time, it's important to be reminded of general safety tips. National Situational Awareness Day was created for this very purpose. So have a look, everybody. It's in the show notes. Bone up.
Might as well if they're going to defund the police.
The New York millennial caught the coof.
Caught the coof?
Yeah, that's what the kids are calling COVID these days.
Oh, who?
My stepdaughter in New York.
Oh, well, she should have stayed in Texas.
Yeah,
she's fine.
Well, she was not doing too well. She's double vaccinated. Fully vaccinated, I guess.
Was she, did she get the vaccination before she got the coof?
Yeah, she got vaxxed a couple months ago.
I guess it didn't do her much good now, did it?
No, so imagine...
Was she high and mighty about getting the vaccination? That's the only thing that makes it worth talking about.
I wouldn't say high and mighty, but she felt like it was just, you should do it. Just everyone does it. Do it.
Do you remember we talked about this in the early days of the vaccine where people would get the vaccine, they say, I feel like I'm king of the world.
That's right. Yeah. Invincible, I think. Invincible is the term.
I'm invincible.
Well, that's the endorphins from people who've been severely traumatized by being locked down or scared by the mainstream.
Yes, that's
what that is. But imagine my delight. Because imagine my delight. First of all, she had lost her sense of taste and smell, really felt like crap. She couldn't get into, this started on Friday, I think. She could not get into the clinic. It was overfull, had to wait until the next day. It goes in, test
sweet.
Positive. So imagine my delight where I rushed off to FedEx to send her a blister pack of horse dewormer. There was no conversation about it. It's just like, I'm sending you this. It's real simple. Start taking it the minute you get it, which she did. And she's already feeling better. Already, she has a little bit of taste back. How fast is that? How fast is that?
The taste thing is directly related to the zinc.
It's interesting because she had heard from one of her friends that zinc actually makes it worse. Like,
how can it make it worse?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what's going on out there. So
zinc, there's a couple of things. Zinc. I used to have a zinc deficiency. Well, how would you know you'd even have a zinc deficiency? Is it something you test for?
Feels like I should have asked you this, John. How would you even know that you had zinc deficiency? Is there a test for this?
I'm good to ask it myself.
Okay.
So, well, it turns out it took a lot of research to find I had a zinc deficiency, but once I reestablished my zinc bodily content, this problem went away. When I was a kid, if you look at your fingernails and you have these little white clouds on your fingernails,
and
it's just little. You look.
You mean near your cuticle or just in general? Just
on the nail,
little spotted white, little spots on your nail.
Yeah, but they're little cloud shape. Whoops, so this is one.
Yeah, no. If you have that, if you're a goner, you're dead.
7,
you might as well just
8.
put your affairs in order if you got that.
So you had these little white things, and so I did research. Finally, found it was a zinc deficiency. And so I took some zinc supplements, and it went away, and it never returned. That's my story.
Well, anyway, she's doing fine. Thank you for asking. And
good, I'm glad.
Yes, and
you want her to do fine. You just want her to have that moment.
It's one of these moments that I'm sure will never be discussed.
I'm sure it won't.
But somewhere along the line, I'll have to say, "Hey, remember?" Anyway, so I ordered 20 more of these blister packs so I can send them out to all the kids. Because now we only have one between the two of us, and then some sporadic ivermectin that we got in Mexico. But that's really not. This blister pack is cool, and I've put the link to the website in the show notes under.
Although we have some people that are this the overpriced ones where these guys are gouging for?
It's not really overpriced, John. They're like $5 a pack.
Okay, $5 is reasonable,
and that's from ziverdokit.store.
Yeah, but I looked at those. It was six for $110 is not $5 a pack.
No, I got 20 for $200.
Well, 20 for $200? How do you get $5 out of that calculation?
$10. I'm sorry, $10.
Well, they're
you know what, John? I really don't care. Okay, I don't care.
I think
why don't you go get you wait for your cheap ass ivermectin, and when you're dying, I'll send you my expensive blister pack. Okay? Jeez, man, it's bad enough with you and the wine. Oh, it's too expensive. This is life or death. Anyway, coming up in October.
There's still a price.
Yes, of course it's a price. Coming up in October, the European Medical Agency will approve the following therapeutics. Baricitinib, Regnavimab, and Sotorvimab. Who is doing marketing for these people is my immediate question.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Tucker, I don't have a clip of it. I should have had a clip of it. In fact, I knew about it. I never went and clipped it. Tucker had a guy on his show, and it was the Fox expert or some bull crap. And he was talking about alternative treatments for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And he went through every single obscure treatment, including probably half the ones you mentioned. And never once did he mention either ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine.
Really now?
He went out of his way not to mention those two. And what do you think Tucker did?
I have no idea, really. You stumped me on this one.
He didn't do anything. He didn't even ask the guy about it. He just let the guy blabber on, and he went to the next segment.
Yeah.
This is Fox.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be watching Fox. It's no good no mo.
Fox is great.
No, it's not. It's horrible.
I almost had Brett Baer was on with Tulsi, and they had a conversation that was a knockout.
Oh, these people everything bores me right now. The mainstream is boring. People are completely disconnecting. And it's because
doing this.
Oh,
they're bailing out.
Listen to me. You can force people to take the vaccine, but you can't force them to watch your bullcrap M5M stuff. And people aren't doing it. They're just not doing it. The mainstream died September 19th, 2021. I'm sticking to it. Now, let's talk about some adverse reactions because there's a lot going on with this. In particular, because we had this fantastic moment where the director of the CDC, what's her name, Walensky, overrode the FDA's panel in getting boosters for everybody, for the frontline workers, which the panel said no.
Did she override her own people too?
Well, of course she overrode everybody. Yeah. She said, nah, I don't think we're going to do that. We're just going to get everybody vaccinated. It's fine. It's fine. What do you have to worry about? Well, there are some things to worry about. This was actually something that I hadn't even thought about, but it'll start cropping up now when it comes around to insurance time. This discussion will have to be had soon. This is Dr. Sarah Long from, where's she from? Drexel University.
We know for adults over 65, vaccine efficacy is waning, but we're only talking about booster shots for those with Pfizer. What about those with Moderna and Johnson & Johnson? What message does that send?
Well, I think it sends a complicated message because we're saying, in fact, they're at risk of severe disease. They should be boosted. And then we'll say, for the 50% of you who didn't get Pfizer, good luck with your disability. We will have to wait.
Hey, good luck with your disability.
Talking about?
Well, you're just going to have to wait, and if you get hurt, if you get sick, if you didn't get the whole point is boosters are Pfizer only. Boosters are not Moderna. Boosters are not J&J. So if you didn't get the Pfizer, good luck. That's basically what she said. Good luck with
Pfizer. You know, so the CEO of Pfizer was on George Stephanopoulos this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I managed to say that correctly right off the bat.
Yes, very good.
That guy with his crazy Woody Allen Mexican accent. He's either a genius or somebody at that company is just a genius. To get stuff like that planted, it's just phenomenal. And he made all these excuses. Well, then George is badgering him about, why don't you give away the vaccine? And I'm going to go get the clip and play it on the next show because of this one little element.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I can't even do his voice. It's so off. It's insulting. He says, we've sold X number of billion of doses, and for the less fortunate companies, we sell them the vaccine at half the price.
Yeah.
And then he says, for all the super low income, poor countries, we sell it at cost. And then he mentioned that Joe Biden, those vaccine doses, the billion doses that we're going to get, us American taxpayers are going to give away to the world.
$500 million.
He says, we've sold that to Joe Biden at cost. Now, wouldn't a follow-up question be, well, let me just ask you, what do you think a follow-up question would be to that?
Well, what is cost?
Yes.
Can you give me a number? What's the best price? No question.
Stephanopoulos doesn't say jack.
And you're surprised by this?
I'm always surprised by it because it's just like a softball. Somebody's tossing you this softball and you got this huge bat and you just leave it on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know what cost is. Is it $1?
Yeah, but somehow you're confused with George Stephanopoulos being a journalist?
I don't care who it is. Nobody would ask him that question. I know it. These guys, it's all scripted. These phony balonies on TV, all they do is read from a script, and they're not allowed to ask a question I would ask immediately.
Right.
Okay, what's cost?
Exactly. Let me run down a couple of headlines from around the world regarding the adverse event reactions of multiple vaccinations. First of all, Pfizer has now revealed the official side effects from the COVID-19 booster, which is the same as the other shots. They say, here's the rundown. 63.7 people had fatigue. 48.4% of the people suffered from headaches. And 39.1% felt muscle pain. And there's no other side effects.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
No black balls or anything like that?
No, there's no other side effects. So we go to Israel, where 90% of all cases are fully vaccinated. And anyone above 60, now this is straight from the Israeli Ministry of Health, anybody above 60 years old has an equal chance of getting COVID with or without the vaccine. But these people also have the chance of severe morbidity. And do we know what severe morbidity is? Because I had to look that up. So this is what Israel is tagging as the actual side effects of the 90% of all cases being vaccinated. Acute myocardial infarction, aneurysm, acute renal failure, adult respiratory distress syndrome, amniotic fluid embolism, that's for pregnant women, cardiac arrest, conversion of cardiac rhythm. It just goes on. And there's a documentary now, an Israeli documentary called, what are they calling this thing here? It's the Testimonies Project. It's in Hebrew. It does have English subtitles. Well worth at least 5 minutes if you want to be totally bummed out. The Testimonies Project created to provide a platform for all who were affected after getting the COVID-19 vaccine and to make sure their voices are heard, since they are not heard in the Israeli media. Gee, surprise. And then I got this. We had that study from the New England Journal of Medicine, and the interpretation we had was, or that I had, was that 8 out of 10 pregnancies resulted in a miscarriage after vaccination. And so a lot of people emailed in, smart people who read the New England Journal of Medicine study itself. And so here's one from Chase. He says, I listened to 1384, was surprised to hear that out of nearly 4,000 participants in the study, more than 80% of them had miscarriages. When I went to read the report, I found out that of the 4,000 participants, 850 had delivered, and that 13% of those miscarriages were miscarriages, which is in line with normal birth statistics according to the journal. I'm not sure if someone fed you this misinterpretation of the article, but wanted you to know it does not present what was discussed in the podcast. I'm a Baron. Think you and John are national treasures. Doesn't mean you or anyone is perfect. Wanted to share. So I sent him back the deconstruction, and here's where it's tricky, and no one has done this. Only one publication so far has looked at the actual definition of a miscarriage, which has to be in the first trimester. So if you read the numbers, there was really only 127 women who had been vaccinated during the first trimester, and out of those, 104 experienced a miscarriage. So that's 81.9%. And the way this NEJM study kind of was put together was, oh, look at all the people, and it's just this amount. But they say in the document itself, that's the definition of a miscarriage. So I want to make sure we got that out of the way. So you were, that's good. I congratulate you. Thank you. Instead of just caving to the complaining of a baron. Well, he wasn't complaining. He wasn't complaining. He was concerned. Instead of you complaining. I'm saying instead of you complaining. Yeah. Oh, yeah, instead of you complaining, you went back and did more work that was not necessary. He is a baron. I mean, come on. He's a baron. And you cleared it up. Okay, well, that's good. And now, headline of the day from the BBC. This tells you everything. COVID-19 in Wales, a third of positive cases are unvaccinated. And that's some 1984 shit right there. Is that a great headline? Hello? Why? Well, they're saying a third of positive cases are unvaccinated. Alternate headline, two-thirds of cases are vaccinated. Yes. What a spin that is. Well, that's what you do. It's the BBC. Auntie's not supposed to do this. This is a shocker to you. The BBC is corrupted. Yes. Those horrible, horrible people. Exactly. So now we have the mandates, which is real. I mean, now we're seeing the healthcare system start to fall away, start to collapse, actually fold onto itself. We had the new governor of New York. She was actually going to do something pretty funny. She's going to get foreigners. Where's my governor clip? Here we go.
You said yesterday that you were looking into temporary visas for foreign workers to fill these anticipated slots that might be empty in hospitals and nursing homes. So what is that going to look like? Where are these replacement healthcare workers coming from? What's the plan?
Well, I'll start with the last question, see if I remember the first one by the time I get to your probably 3.5-part question, Bernadette. This is something that we have to work with the Department of State on first. And this is a conversation we've already been having to talk about the opportunity we might have in freeing up the visa system to have some temporary workers come from places like the Philippines where many nurses go.
I'm sorry? What?
Why doesn't she say we're having discussions? Which is what it amounts to.
What did she say?
Instead, they use the term that you like to mock, which is we're having conversations. Conversations to me always seems to be like some casual thing. Oh, I had a conversation. It's not serious. A discussion is serious. A conversation is just bleh.
I think it's conversation, discussion, negotiation. That's probably what it should be. Well, yeah. So
that means that they're not even further. They're not far enough along to do anything.
No, it's still a conversation.
This is something that we have to work with the Department of State on first, and this is a conversation we've already been having to talk about the opportunity we might have in freeing up the visa system to have some temporary workers come from places like the Philippines where many nurses go elsewhere. I literally had this conversation with the Prime Minister of Ireland when we sat where I am right now and talked about, do you have any of this? Everyone I'm talking to, I'm saying, do you have any healthcare workers you can get over to us? But it is going to be a Department of State approval process that we have to work through. So this will not help in the next couple of days.
This is incredible. Does she really think that other countries are not having this exact same problem? Because they are. Every single country has a shortage, and it's mandates.
She's got a screw loose. This woman's no good.
Well, then wait for this lady, because I played this 30 times on a loop trying to understand what the heck she was saying. This is Lena Wen, the former Planned Parenthood director, and has quite a storied history, as we are about to find out. This was what she was saying about mandates and why, and she made it personal. She's very good at this, it turns out. She made this a personal story about her and her child. And you explain to me what she is actually telling us to do in this 20-second clip.
And those who are vaccinated, we now know, based on the CDC, they are now able, but with the Delta variant, because they carry so much more virus, they could transmit it to their unvaccinated family members. And so I, for example, even though I'm fully vaccinated, my children are not because they're too young to be vaccinated. So I need to be now careful for my children because of all the unvaccinated people around us.
Okay. Now, explain to me what she just said.
She said. Huh? She said that the vaccinated people carry a crap load of Delta variant because they're vaccinated. They're
dripping out of their nose.
If they load it up because they're vaccinated, they're roaming around like a big giant suction cup, sucking in soot, sucking in all kinds of viruses. So the vaccinated people are loaded to the gills with horrible viruses. And the more of them that are around, the worse it is. That's all she said.
Well, yeah, but she's still...
They're a danger. What she said is that by the way, I agree with her. I agree with her 100%.
Oh, yeah.
The vaccinated people are the most dangerous people in the world. That's what she said.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the most dangerous people in the world.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she didn't say the most dangerous people in the world, but the logic, it's anyone who doesn't wake up and go, hold on a second. She just said people are vaccinated, have a lot of viral load. That's dangerous because my kids are unvaccinated. I don't want to give it to them. So I have to be careful around people who are unvaccinated. No, vaccinated too. This thing is such a dud, and they just can't admit it. Now, this Lena Wen, she has a very...
They can't admit it.
Lena Wen has a very interesting history. So she was born in China, and then she moved to California, and then she went to... she's only 38 or 30. Yeah, 30. She's very young. Entered California State University in Los Angeles at age 13. Was early, like some genius program. Graduated 2001 from Cal State at 18.
Yeah, I know the type.
Entered Washington University in St. Louis Medical School. Then in 2005, she became the national president of American Medical Student Association, graduated in 2007, 2 years master program in economic and social history, a master of science in modern Chinese studies at Oxford University. She's a Rhodes Scholar.
There you go.
That should tell you something. From 2010, she served as chair of the Young Professionals Council, Global Leadership Network of Medical Nursing and Public Health Professionals. Then from 10 to 13, she was a Harvard-affiliated emergency medicine resident at Birmingham Women's Hospital in Massachusetts General Hospital. And she was there. It must have been one of her last days, because right after that, she went on to do a whole bunch of other interesting things, including publishing a book in the same year. She was at the Boston Marathon bombing, and lo and behold, Jake Tapper got a hold of her and interviewed her. This woman is something else.
Joining me now is Dr. Lena Wen. She's an emergency room physician who was working at Massachusetts General Hospital the day of the terror attack. She also works at Brigham and Women's Hospital. So you were at Massachusetts General Monday. What happened?
Oh, it was a horrific day. We had no idea what was coming. It was 3 o'clock, and we heard that there were 2 explosions, but we didn't know where. We had no idea how many people were coming to us.
How many people came?
It seemed like dozens, and it was. It was probably nearly 3 dozen patients in 2 hours or so.
And was the hospital ready for it? I heard from Dr. Walls from the other Brigham and Women's Hospital that because of all the drills the hospitals here have been running since 9/11, you were unbelievably prepared.
Technically and medically, we were ready. We had done drills. We knew what to do with each individual patient who came in. But I've never seen trauma like this before. The volume and the nature of the trauma was really chilling and really shocking.
And on a personal note,
here she is, Miss Personal Note. She's going to personalize it.
Hadn't yet heard from your husband while this was all going on, and then you hear a cell phone ring. You reach into your pocket, but it wasn't your cell phone ringing.
Yeah, so we actually live just a block away from here, from Copley Square. And my husband had told me that he was coming to watch at the finish line. And then we heard that the explosions happened. So while I was treating patients, I had no idea whether the next patient was going to be my husband. I really thought, because there was soot and blood everywhere, I thought there was a good chance that the next patient I'd be seeing on the stretcher would turn out to be my husband.
Is this typical for an emergency doctor to talk about themselves? And she keeps going on this, by the way. I found this out of character for an ER trauma doctor, but totally in character with this person.
But he was okay.
He ended up being unharmed, but I couldn't reach him for hours because of phone lines being full and all these things. So.
One of the things that Dr. Walls told me is that he talked to his protege who works in Colorado and dealt with the Aurora shootings. And he said, what's one piece of advice? And he said, we took care of our people, the emotional trauma that they felt, but you can always do more. It still wasn't enough. Have you found that? Or are the doctors and nurses and others who work at the hospital, are they still dealing with this and struggling with it?
Absolutely. I know that. I certainly do. I have nightmares, and whenever I hear sirens or the loudspeaker for the ambulance going off, I think about Monday. And it's something that I know I have to do better at. I need to take care of myself and our colleagues in order for us to take care of our patients going forward.
Well, thank you for the work you do, Dr.
Narcissistic.
You're okay, and keep up the great work.
So in a 2-minute report, they talk for 8 seconds about patients, and the rest is about her.
What's her name again?
Lena Wen. Liana. Now, she also speaks fluent Chinese. She's consulted for the World Health Organization, the Chinese. Yeah,
What's her last name?
Wen, W-E-N. W-E-N.
Yeah, she's a spook.
That's what I thought. It's got to be a spook. Now, we have
she's got spook written all over her.
Yeah. Just look at her wiki page. Like, There's a true military whistleblower who went through all the whistleblower channels, filed all the proper paperwork, and which we won't hear much about, I presume, anywhere but on the podcast. And here's her main statement. She says, in accordance with the foregoing, and she put a whole bunch of evidence and her observations and literature, I hereby recommend to the Secretary of Defense that all pilots, crew, and flight personnel in the military service who required hospitalization from injection or received any COVID-19 vaccination be grounded similarly for further dispositive assessment. Mm-hmm.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And it's sticking with aviation. United Airlines, you remember they were going to not just mandate vaccines for all of their employees, but if you did not get vaccinated, you would be put on temporary leave, unpaid, and certainly in the meantime, you were going to pay more for your healthcare premium.
Well, even if let's say that they even did that, let's say that they mandated vaccines, knowing the way they operate, the way you're supposed to operate, because they don't feed the pilots the same food. Did they demand that each pilot get a different vaccine? So, in other words, you only flew with a Johnson & Johnson guy if you were a Pfizer or Moderna guy. Was that in part of the program? Seems like it should be, right?
It sounds like a dynamite idea. No, I mean, that's one of my main...
No.
No, of course not. Or at least they're not talking about it. They can't talk about it that way. But a judge stopped it. A judge stopped this mandate and called it heartless. You know what I'm thinking? We should have a day. It's all the people who have had an adverse reaction to these vaccines. We should have a day where at a certain time, everybody who's been affected by the vaccine, just stand outside your door. See what happens. Get a drone shot of that. Get a drone shot of that, please. Natural infection.
You know, when I say spook about this woman, she was born in Shanghai in 1983. Moved with her parents to the U.S. when she was 8. Then had her English name changed, the English name. This woman could be Chinese intelligence.
Easily. And look at where she is. You know, she went from Planned Parenthood, where she got kicked out. She was kicked out. By the way, if you look at her, all of her careers about transparency in medicine, she even wrote a book about this stuff.
And again, you know, the idea that we use when we try to spot the spook is the fact that nobody stays in the same place too long. You know, did you realize she married a South African man?
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's in marketing
after
or some
a blessing
crap
ceremony.
like
They went to Cape Town?
Yeah.
They have 2 children. I wonder how many. It's ridiculous.
Isn't it great?
I mean, yes, a lot of people have colorful, you know, they travel here and there and they're all over the place. But even those people.
Please note her attendance at George Washington University as well. The Rhodes Scholar, all of that stuff adds up to one thing.
Spot the spook. Spot the spook. Everybody wants to spot the spook.
No, but who's spook?
Yeah, that's the question. Okay, couple more here. The Norway has stopped all mandates, has now reclassified COVID as equal and on equal footing with the flu, which it should have been all along. It's probably just as lethal. Flu's coming back, people. It's going to be real bad this winter.
There was no flu for the last 18 months. What happened?
It's going to be...
I thought we eradicated it.
It's just coiling up. The flu is coiling up, ready to strike and kill us all. Yeah.
Well, I ran into a funny ad for a new flu shot.
Oh, do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Oh, groovy. I love me some pharma ads. Let's do some pharma ads. I got two. I got 2 today.
Oh, I got one. This is the Flu Zone.
Flu Zone? No.
I'm not getting through the pandemic just to end up with the flu.
I asked for Flu Zone High Dose Quadrivalent. It's the #1 used flu vaccine for people 65 and older.
Flu Zone High Dose Quadrivalent is the only vaccine approved by the FDA for superior flu protection in adults 65 plus.
I'm not letting my guard down.
Flu Zone High Dose Quadrivalent isn't for people who've had a severe allergic reaction to any flu vaccine or vaccine component, including eggs or egg products. Tell your healthcare professional if you've ever experienced severe muscle weakness after receiving a flu shot. People with weakened immune systems, including those receiving therapies that suppress the immune system, may experience lower immune responses. Vaccination may not protect everyone. Side effects include pain, redness and or swelling where you got the shot, muscle ache, headache, and general discomfort. Other side effects may occur.
Woo! All flu shots are not the same. I raised my game with Flu Zone High Dose Quadrivalent.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist for Flu Zone High Dose Quadrivalent.
Okay, so I deconstructed what the hell, what is this?
Yeah, what is this? What's going on here?
So all the flu shots, which are cheap, by the way, they're $5, and they're trivalent.
Trivalent?
They go to every year. They go to China and they figure out what possibly.
What the strain could be.
What the three? They always decide on three.
Oh, I thought it was influenza A or B. I didn't know there were three choices.
There's three. They find three possible candidates that might be the ones that come over here and kill us all. So they're trivalent shots. They're all that way. So these guys added a fourth.
Yeah. For just in case.
Big deal. So they added a fourth long shot possibility. And I bet you these shots cost like $50.
I was reading the Substack.
This is a scam.
Oh, yeah. I was reading the Substack called Yuga Flickaflops or something. I put it in the show notes. It's an unpronounceable name. And he made the comparison between IBV vaccines for chickens and the COVID vaccine. And the title of it is "We're All Cattle Now." And he says it's exactly the same. This is what they've been trying to treat chickens with coronavirus for many decades. Now listen to the comparison. IBV vaccine. It's the same people making this stuff. Protect the chickens from infection for only about 9 weeks. Sounds right. If we're chickens, long enough for the chickens to be eaten. But those raised for their eggs require constant boosters. They receive 2 or 3 attenuated viruses at first, then the periodic deactivated virus boosters thereafter to maintain their protection. Adenovirus, that's the Johnson & Johnson, I think. Is that Johnson & Johnson or AstraZeneca? Yeah. Johnson & Johnson. So adenovirus vector vaccines have been tried in chickens with efficacy similar to that induced by attenuated virus vaccines. This is very likely an unstated reason that vaccine vector and mRNA messenger technology were used for our own SARS-2 jabs. It was known from the experience with animals that deactivated virus vaccines would not work nearly as well. There are other interesting tidbits in the literature on IBV vaccines, he says. Quote, the basis of immunity to IBV, this chicken vaccination, is not well understood. Serum antibody levels do not correlate with protection, although local antibody is believed to play a role. And then it goes on to talk about, antibody-dependent enhancement and how the chickens, if they catch the virus in the wild, how they die right away. So, yeah, we're livestock. That's what's going on. We are total livestock.
I like it. I like the comparison.
And here is a big pharma ad for the livestock.
Dogs are people, too.
Simparica Trio. It's triple protection made simple. Simparica Trio is the first and only monthly chewable that covers heartworm disease, ticks and fleas,
ivermectin,
and hookworms. Dogs get triple protection in just one Simparica Trio. This drug class has been associated with neurologic adverse reactions, including seizures. Used with caution in dogs with a history of these disorders. Protect him with all your heart. Simparica Trio.
Now, notice the marketing. Protection. It's also, they're giving these dogs something up front. They don't have anything. It's protection. It's immunity. It's protection. This is, we are being so swamped with this stuff. And then on the complete other side of the marketing spectrum, something has changed. We saw it with the death time of the mainstream media, September 19th, 2021, where they had anti-conception ads, and the woman is sitting inside her vagina, and he says, "Welcome to my vagina," and talks about all this stuff, which is fine for me, but I just want to point out that the marketing is changing like crazy. This is a real ad.
Being a human is hard, especially if you're a woman who's also having trouble doing that totally normal thing all humans do, but not all of them like to talk about.
Oh, are you talking about pooping?
Let's just say Garden of Life's doctor-formulated women's probiotics help your digestion so you can be a more regular human.
I'm comfortable talking about poop. You can just say poop.
It's 2021. I think everyone knows that women poop.
I love pooping. You poop, girl.
Plus, did you know that the 40 billion probiotics found in Garden of Life can help support immune system health?
Oh, are you poop-splaining me right now?
Wow.
Don't be shy about pooping. Pooping is powerful.
This is my favorite part of the day.
I poop. She poops. All women poop.
I'm a woman, and I poop. I'm a woman, and I poop.
I'm a woman, and I poop regularly.
Thanks for the poop-powerment.
I'm not saying poop-powerment. I'm pooping right now.
Look for Garden of Life, the #1 probiotic that helps women, #2. And it can even help maintain healthy pH and yeast levels.
Oh, are we talking about my vagina now?
Okay, now this is not an ad that's ever run on broadcast television.
Yes, sir. Well, people have in the troll room have even seen it.
Maybe on the internet, maybe on a feed that goes over YouTube. I've seen a lot of poop ads on YouTube.
Yeah, but cable can run poop ads. There's nothing
I've never
wrong with
seen
poop.
one.
You just heard this. Nothing's wrong with poop.
No, I never said there's anything wrong with
Pooping
poop.
is powerful.
Everyone must poop. That whole poop series of books that came out for kids.
It's very important that we all poop.
Detective Dookie.
Detective Dookie.
Poop Police. SPU. Special Poopers Unit.
All right. Let's talk finally about people who've already had COVID. Should you get vaccinated? Logic and science says no. But when it comes to propagandizing the Latinx community, there's nothing better than getting Fauci together with the one and only Miami sound machine, Gloria Estefan.
I was COVID positive November 8th. I tested negative the 22nd and 24th. So I wasn't eligible yet for the vaccine because of my age. And they told me to wait 3 months. Why wait 3 months? Is it because it's harmful, or is it because we still have immunity and we didn't want to waste the vaccine, or any other reason?
So, Gloria, theoretically, the situation is that you're making antibodies against the COVID proteins. The vaccine itself is the spike protein of the coronavirus. And the concern, theoretically, is that if you have a lot of level of antibody, it's going to bind to the protein and diminish the effect of the potency of the vaccine. That's only a theoretical consideration. How long did they ask you to wait?
They told me 3 months, but I know for a fact I still have immunity because I've gotten repeatedly tested.
I would not wait any longer.
There it is.
Gloria, I believe that the advantage of getting the boost from the vaccine far outweighs the theoretical possibility that your own existing immunity is going to interfere. And we know that the immunity that's induced by the vaccine in general is more potent than the immunity that's induced by infection. So my advice would be, at your convenience, when you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated.
I'm absolutely going to do it, Dr. Fauci.
I will, Dr. Fauci.
Stay safe.
Now, I noticed the little language thing here that's kind of interesting.
Good.
Please, one good's enough.
Goody.
They're trying to switch it from booster to boost.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because of the implications. Booster's like a booster chair. It's for kids. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got a booster. Booster's very kind of juvenile. Boost. Boost. We got boost.
Boost.
Wow. Boost is more like a rocket ship or something. You boost. It's like it's giving you the extra kick in the ass. It's a boost.
Yeah.
You do it to the football player. Just get him.
Hold on. Listen to this.
Here's your cue to boost. You know you want to.
Boost.
Yeah, boost. It's a crock of shit.
Yeah, it's total crock. Well, par for the course. I'm going to stop about the M5M, but I did want to share one thing with you since we have been looking at ratings and just the overall, I would say, truly collapse of M5M. It's slow, but it's like it took Sears a while to figure out that Amazon was eating their lunch too. These things do take a bit of time. But I learned that when it comes to the new Hollywood, the streamers, which soon would just be called whatever, but Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Paramount, Disney, Apple TV claimed it had less than 20 million Apple Plus subscribers in July, which I guess that's not many. It probably doesn't surprise me, but the source of this information was interesting. The source is from a union, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. And why is this? Because the new model, when it comes to working in movies and television, let's just call it all kind of the same thing, and when it comes to streaming, the contracts, the union contracts, in this case, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, which represents TV and movie workers, the camera operators, set builders, all the real people behind the scenes, they get paid based upon how many subscribers a service has, which they just have to take at face value, I presume. So Disney says 116 million, Netflix 209 million. If you're working on one of those shows, you have a union contract that pays you more than when you're working on, say, the morning show for Apple, because they, maybe artificially, but they keep their number at 20 million people.
Well, that brings up an interesting question that I will ask you, and you should be able to answer. If Apple has 20 million people subscribing to its service and it has one show, as opposed to 200 million, which is a factor of 10, to subscribe to Netflix, where there's 200,000 shows, why would you get more money at Netflix when you're only working at one show with 20 million people?
What the industry is doing is removing all cost. All of this, which they would consider freeloaders, your stupid unions, get rid of them. They don't want to do it on ratings anymore. Not on ratings, not on residuals. That's over. Well, no more residuals.
It's beside my point. If you say they get paid more at Netflix because of the subscriber base.
Yeah.
If the subscriber base is serving 200 shows as opposed to a subscriber base that's serving one or two shows,
yeah,
why would you get paid more?
Yeah,
you should get paid more where there's bigger base, less shows.
So I countered your point because it's not a point. You're asking something that is unanswerable. They don't want you to know how many people are watching, and they want to pay a flat rate, and they're going to do it based upon how many people they say they have subscribing, not watching. Ratings are over. This is another nail.
If you read the trades.
I'm reading the trade.
They talk about, they've got this new metric. They all use it.
Uh-huh.
It's called per million minutes viewed.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, didn't we talk about that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's about how many, they do million minutes viewed. I didn't realize it was in the million was the denominator.
Minutes viewed, but I think it's million minutes viewed or something like that. But it's minutes viewed. So they have, so that way they can deal with streaming, and I don't know how they manage this, by the way, because you and I both know it's bullshit. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody starts watching a YouTube video, and then they walk away from the set, or they just let it go in the background, or it's on, or they stop it within, after the first pre-roll, they stop it. You watch the pre-roll,
right.
And then
it's view. You got to view.
That's a view, but that's not. But the minutes viewed seems to be claiming that they are actually timing how long you're watching it.
That's a YouTube metric.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a general metric in all streaming, according to the cable and broadcast.
Right, but YouTube pioneered that. They pioneered it with that. They have these metrics you can get on YouTube is minutes viewed, and a big metric is how long someone watched a video, which you will not be surprised is about 30 seconds, but maybe a little bit longer for some long form things. But rarely do you get like a full view out of anything or anybody. And but the advertising model is just broken. That's all. It's just broken, and people don't want it. They don't like it. Advertising is valid, but they're gonna have to figure something else out. Donate to a podcast.
I'm reminded of what they did in Europe years ago when they had, especially in the UK and elsewhere. Although they've changed this model over the years to a more of an American model for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that is they would have, you go there and you watch, say there's a show, it's a half-hour show. They play all the ads at the beginning in a row, like 5 minutes of ads, and they play them at...
You can't fast forward or skip?
You could, but to avoid that, they make the ads outrageously entertaining. They make the
I've
ads
always said that's the way to go. That's always the way to go.
And that's what the Super Bowl people do.
Mm-hmm.
They make the ads, so the ads are worth, you watch the Super Bowl, and people say it. I watched the Super Bowl to see what ads they ran.
Right, but that doesn't really hold, well, the Super Bowl, yeah. But to make a
How about just make all ads incredibly entertaining and stop showing them over and over?
Name for me the product of the poop commercial.
There was some some pill.
Would you have recall? Would you have recall after having laughed at and stood in amazement at that ad? Would you remember it if you saw it on the shelf?
If I saw the ad and it had the pill and they flashed it in my face with, sitting maybe in a pile of poop, I think I definitely remember it.
Okay. Alrighty then. Advertising works. You just don't know how it works. And it's very annoying to the consumer. The consumers are walking away.
Yeah, let's go to another thing then. I'm going to bring this up. I'll argue this till I'm blue in the face. I'm on the other side of the debate, as you know.
You mean you think the M5M is just fine and dandy and their numbers are great and they're making money and it's good?
They got bad programming. They got too much leer. They got too much virtue signaling. They got lousy advertising. They're run by a bunch of doofus boneheads.
Now, those are all reasons for my argument.
Yeah, but let me continue. Native ads, once they were discovered and once they were accepted by the public to be inserted into the New York Times and various news organizations, which we spot, nobody else seems to care. There's a native ad, and here it goes, and it's part of, they blend it in, so you can actually do, I think, you can do an entire news broadcast with no advertising and all native ads and make more money.
Yeah, and the people are going to watch that. They'll be very happy to watch that.
If they're well produced,
you're not making it. No, you're making zero argument. You're not making an argument.
You've watched plenty of native ads that you thought were well produced, well entertaining.
Name one. Name one.
I can name one. There's tons of them. I used to play them on this show constantly.
John, people don't.
And they were very well done. And
people are interested in other things. They're interested in Instagram models and TikTok dances. People are not. You have to understand. They don't care. They do not care anymore.
We could. This is boring to the public. So
I don't think so.
Later.
I don't think it's boring at all. Fox News down 37% month over month. This is
because it's just become another apparatchik for the Democrat Party.
Yes, but that's what it is. My point exactly. There's no one doing anything for art. They're doing it for politics, and they're doing it for advertisers. And the people are tired of it because the alternative, TikTok, is fantastic. You can sit down and watch TikTok for an hour and you're entertained. And if you can break yourself loose, you can have a life. It's like Top 40 radio on steroids, on crack. It's 15 seconds, boom, boom, in your face. No, they cannot compete. This is what they compete with. This is a report from the UK. I don't know if this is.
Before we leave the COVID thing, I do have a clip I want to get out of the way. So we at least know this. This is important. It's about the vaccine.
Okay.
The vaccine is now a human right.
Centers for Disease Control Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has endorsed giving workers in high-risk settings booster vaccine shots despite opposition from a CDC panel. On Thursday, the panel recommended making Pfizer-BioNTech booster shots available to people 65 and older, nursing home residents, and people with underlying health conditions. But the panel did not recommend booster shots for younger healthcare workers, teachers, and other high-risk settings. But Walensky then overruled the panel. Many global health experts have criticized the Biden administration for promoting booster shots while much of the world remains unvaccinated. At the United Nations General Assembly, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa repeated his call for waiving intellectual property rights on vaccines. He also criticized wealthy nations for hoarding vaccines.
It is an indictment on humanity that more than 82% of the world's vaccine doses have been acquired by wealthy countries, while less than 1% has gone to low-income countries. Unless we address this as a matter of urgency, the pandemic will last much longer and new mutations of the virus will emerge and spread. South Africa reaffirms its call for fair and equitable distribution of vaccines.
Meanwhile, Bolivian President Luis Arce said access to vaccines should be considered a human right in his address to the UN General Assembly.
Capitalism has commodified all aspects of social life, and health is not the exception. Medical science should be at the service of humanity without any sort of geographical, political, social, or nationality discrimination. The access to the vaccine must be considered as a human right.
What do you think the point of this is? By the way, I apologize to everybody. John did not tag as I normally get when he's doing these kind of clips.
Warning.
Amy Goodman clip inbound.
Sorry about that. What do you think the point is of this?
It's communism. Just a communist meme.
Okay.
Human right. Just everything's a human right. They said vaccine should be free. It's a human right, and it's promoted. This kind of thing promoted by the rich countries. There's a capitalist. Capitalism's bad. This is the same old. Now I want to, just as a kind of a kicker, I do have clips for later. I listened to the Trump Perry, Georgia speech so I could see what he's up to with his new act.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a bunch of people that come before him, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. And just to make sure that we have a clue here, I do have an MTG clip. It's a 4-second clip. It's worth playing.
But let's talk about who the Democrats really are. They're communists.
Wow. I'm so happy she got to say that. Gee, we didn't know, lady. I'm tired of her, too. As much as I kind of like her, and I have no stomach. I have no stomach for Trump, and the reason is this. Because first of all, I'm glad you do it because of the shtick. It's important for us to know what the shtick is. And I know why he did this, and I spent my time looking at the audit report instead of watching the rally. He has no solutions. We know what he's doing. He's just getting the media ready to run 2024. And so kind of everything else, if he's still out there with the same message of I'm going to save you and we can all save ourselves, it's just you have nothing right now. When he did these speeches and he had power, it was much more interesting because he could do something. Now he's just talking.
He's always just talking.
It's just, I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I agree with you about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a little...
Don't get me wrong. I'm not against Trump clips. I mean, of course I want to hear them.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, that clip that I just played is the clip.
That's the clip? That's the clip. Yeah.
I also have a single clip from Trump that is also the clip that summarized everything. But the reason I got the Trump clips is because he does go after all these guys, and he does a pretty good job of it.
Well, I definitely want to do that because I think this is part of the purge, as I would call it. Only 999 sealed indictments to go. So I definitely think there's something up, and I'm sure he dropped his hints, and I hope you have it. Supply chains, though, is we need to talk about supply chains because, well, first of all, very odd. I got a note from that we have two producers who are in the paper business. And how do we know they're in the paper business? Because in the start of this whole thing, when everyone went berserk and started hoarding toilet paper, both of them were telling me what was going on. So one of them works for Koch Industries, which they pretty much have a lock on household paper products, such as paper towel and toilet paper. They got a big market share. And another executive producer who's been in the business for 26 years, he sent me a note on Friday. Says, I just got out of a meeting. This is the worst I've ever seen in my entire career. Toilet paper is going to be a problem, but moreover, printer paper. Printer paper is going to disappear. And he said he would write up a whole report. So I then contacted our other producer. He says, I don't know what he's talking about. We're even doing promotions on toilet paper. So maybe it's just the printer paper, but something is up.
I don't know. I just bought a pile of printer paper. It's so cheap, and they're selling tons of it.
Well, hopefully you'll have a report by Thursday. And just in case, Costco is also saying, we'll have a problem with toilet paper. That came after he told me. So I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but we'll find out. In the UK, man, these guys are in a pickle. So first we have Brexit, which affected the work landscape significantly for people who could come into the country and work. And then, of course, with COVID, no one could come into the country. And, as an island, sometimes you need stuff to come into the country. You need drivers to drive the trucks for the gasoline.
Some British motorists have begun panic buying fuel at petrol stations, despite the government urging them not to. A lack of petrol tanker drivers forced a few stations to close, which has triggered the panic. The government's expected to do a post-Brexit U-turn and allow foreign truck drivers back into the country.
There are political principles involved in this, but there's also the principle of making sure that people in Britain get their food and their fuel. And set against the political background around Brexit, it seems to me that this is something that the government might have to swallow and simply accept that actually, short term, we do need foreign drivers to help us out.
It's not just petrol supplies that are affected, food is too. Some supermarket shelves have been empty for weeks now.
The BBC sent a correspondent. I don't have his report, but I have a picture. So this guy standing at a gas station. Guess what his name is? Phil McCann.
Phil McCann.
Phil McCann.
That should be on that list of names.
I'm sure the Brits don't even know. Note from producer Rodney about the Los Angeles port. As we know, there's backups there. In the morning, gents, as you probably heard about the cargo ships backed up in California's port. 65 ships and counting. The main reason, not enough trucks to deliver loads from the port. Now, he says, can you guess why there are not enough trucks? Of course we cannot. That's why we have the best producers. About 2 years ago, California ports put out new rules on what you can drive into the port as far as trucks go. Every truck had to be 2006 and newer, from 2006 and newer. Now, drivers are cheap when it comes to their trucks. Most don't want to buy anything newer than 1999. Why 1999? That's the year cutoff for the ELD electronic logs. 2000 and newer must have the ELD. So as far as the port goes, it's more about environmental standards than ELDs. That one actually costs about 50% loss of the trucks. It won't be long before they lose more drivers because of even stricter rules. And this is the same with some of the ships. They went into overhaul to get rid of their dirty diesel. I don't know what they're going to run on. Coal,
natural gas.
Yeah. So they're getting rid of that.
Well, the trucking thing is interesting because it doesn't seem we have one of the biggest ports in the world in Oakland, and they load mostly rail.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of trucks, thousands and thousands of trucks that go in and out of there. But I don't think they have that same rule. And if they did, they would just
probably
move
not
the rail.
Probably not.
Use the rail to go move the trucks
Mm-hmm.
and the truck pick the thing up someplace else. So I don't know how big of a problem that really is.
Well, the Wall Street Journal writes, delays are getting worse. California ports still rest on the weekends. U.S. shipping operations remain clogged as ports, trucks, and warehouses can't find enough workers or agree on 24/7 operations. I didn't know this was happening. You guys just shut down in the weekend or in the night. You don't keep going at L.A.
Well, that's L.A.
Right, but that's where they have 65 tankers backed up. Maybe they could go to Oakland. Possible.
Well, take it out to Oakland, people.
And if you read what they wrote in this article, Nike,
Oakland, Portland, Seattle is also good.
Here, Nike won't have enough sneakers to sell for the holidays. Costco is reimposing limits on paper towel. Prices for artificial Christmas trees have jumped 25% this season. Get a real tree, people. And then we had the CO2 news on the last show, which to me was baffling.
You guys just leave it at that. Get an artificial tree. They're 10 times better. I used to always have real trees. They drop needles everywhere. They're fire hazards. They're hard to get rid of. They're just a pain in the ass. You buy one artificial tree, it's good for 10 years. Christmas after Christmas. And they look exactly the same.
Yes, and they smell the same too.
You can buy some of this spray scent if you really need that stench.
Ours has 3 modules, and there's a little connector in the stem, so the lights are in permanently.
Yeah, you got a real high end artificial tree
at Costco. We did a couple of years back. Oh, I'm not arguing with you at all. I think it's totally the way to go. CO2 shortage. John and Adam, I'm a millennial owner of a California brewery. I have some info about the rise in CO2 prices. They are astronomical. 300% in some cases.
Yeah.
I'm friends with our CO2 sales rep. He tells me that CO2 used in dry ice welding tanks, and in our case, carbonation, is a purified byproduct of the oil refining process. From what I understand,
pull it from natural gas.
Several oil refineries on the West Coast shut down because of the lockdowns and will not be reopening because of carbon tax increases. While we get used to our CO2 from a plant in Stockton, they're having to go to San Diego and even trucking it in from Oregon and Washington to meet the demand. There are machines that can pull CO2 out of the air or recycle the CO2 saved or created during the fermentation process, but they seem a lot more green gimmickly than actually practical. So that could be some of the shutdowns.
Ways to pull it out of natural gas.
So I guess it could be.
I don't know of one refinery. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 refineries in the San Francisco Bay Area. They're all running. I don't know what he's talking about.
You know, you posted that on No Agenda Social, like, where's your evidence? Now someone comes here with evidence, with hands-on evidence. You're like, I don't know where he gets it from. Probably from the bill that says 300% more expensive.
No, I'm not saying it's not more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. I said, where's these oil refineries that are shut down?
Well, maybe the same one that produce, here, CF Industry Holdings, top manufacturer of hydrogen and nitrogen products, released a statement today indicating that its UK manufacturing facilities suspending operations due to high natural gas prices. It's all the natural gas price, which is completely artificial as far as I'm concerned. Isn't it?
I don't think so. I think natural gas price, and it has gone up. It hasn't gone up dramatic. Well, I guess it is dramatic. This has been sitting around $3 for decades, and then now it's 4 or 5. So I guess that's almost doubled. So I guess that
makes a difference to somebody.
It makes a difference to anybody who buys it by the carload.
I'd like it. Yeah. So
it just seems like some of these things are created.
Oh, definitely. I have a thing from was it China? I think I might have it here. Hold on a second. Do I have it? Yes. So China is doing weird stuff. This is one of those wacky reports on YouTube. They are cutting power in certain industrial cities, and with the predictable results, here's a 30-second report.
These businesses are listed as energy-intensive businesses by the local authorities. According to the emergency power cut notice, all the businesses in Shaoxing must close for 3 days from September 19th to 21st, and all the energy-intensive textile printing and dyeing businesses must halt their production from September 19th to the end of the month. Lin said that the power cut delays their delivery and results in serious consequences to the local businesses. It is very serious for us. That means all our orders will be delayed. We cannot deliver on time.
Now, I don't know why they're doing that. I'm sure it's not climate change.
So the Chinese care little about climate change.
Yeah. But that's one way to control production. Turn off the power. And I have no confirmation other than that live streaming for Facebook and Instagram was down. But, there's word everywhere that Victoria at least cut some internet services during the protest the other day.
Something is, now it brings you back to your original point. Something's up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you.
These guys are starting to realize that, if we can do it, we're not making the kind of money we could be making if let's just cut these customers off for a while and see if they'll pay more. I mean, I have no evidence of that, except there's just too many of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't make any sense in the scheme of things. Well, you can always blame COVID. Well, we lost our employees. We laid everybody off and they wouldn't come back to work.
True.
There's no truck drivers. We kicked all the truck drivers out of the UK and now we got no truck drivers. And whose fault is that? This is really fishy.
No, the way I see it, first of all, there's a great reset in progress. So totally, I'm sure they're nudging this along as much as they can with stimulus checks worldwide. Everybody gets paid to stay home, mandates, fear. People are also fearful to go out still. So, those are good nudges. And then you can basically pull any lever you want to make it look like we need to have the government step in and pay for all. We need universal health care because, it collapsed because of the unvaccinated. We should tax the unvaccinated more. I don't know why they're waiting for it.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
Joe Biden should say it. If you're unvaccinated, boom, 45% income tax rate.
Yeah, well, in America.
Huh?
No one's going to put up with
that. John, how can you sit there and say no one's going to put up with that when people are literally putting up with death being shot into their veins? People will put up with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
You should say that you're not buying it. That would be.
I'm not buying it. I'm going to say I'm not going to buy it.
So what has resulted now from the most recent Build Back Better World program, which, since we're kind of talking about China, is this this collaboration. We've got the submarines now being instead of the French submarines, we're going to have atomic U.S. UK submarines for Australia. This is causing the mainstream in Australia to crank up the fear. And let's start with their M5M. This is just the opening bit of 60 Minutes Australia.
War with China. It sounds unthinkable. But according to many experts, the countdown may be on.
Countdown's on!
China's President Xi Jinping is shaping up to the West like never before. And just last week, a major new military alliance was announced between the US, Australia and the UK to counter Chinese aggression in the Pacific.
The first major initiative of AUKUS will be to deliver a nuclear-powered submarine fleet for Australia.
America and its allies are preparing for a battle we didn't think was possible.
The idea that China would never attack, even never invade, well, I wouldn't count on that.
Xi Jinping is already on a collision course with his own people. From recently outlawing boy bands to enforcing propaganda lessons in primary schools. Xi Jinping is taking control, and he's prepared to fight for it even beyond his homeland. If this unimaginable conflict were to happen, it would begin with an invasion of Taiwan, the tiny nation off its coast that China has long believed is theirs.
Man, they're manifesting this. Boom, 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 boom. War with China could happen. And this whole report, explosions, missile launch, planes flying over warships, boom, 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 boom. And then there's
the same thing. You take that same report if you can get that
boom,
woman's
boom,
voice
boom.
to do it.
Yeah.
And you just throw it, overlay it to the Americans. You know, they have Americans propagandizing, and they have a bunch of kids pledging allegiance.
It's actually more effective. It's a British voice or Australian voice. People pay attention to it more here.
Yeah, I think so.
So now
that's a crap report.
Well, it's not a report. It's a 60-minute entire expose on how we're all going to die. China's going to, because the Chinese don't buy the, it's not just, nuclear power. No, it's nuclear subs. We're going to have to kill you. As witnessed by what is this guy's name? Victor Gao. He's the vice president for the Center for China and Globalization, also a former translator for the previous chairman of the Chinese Communist Party. And listen to what this jamoke says.
Australia itself will be a target for possible nuclear attacks in the future.
Can I just stop you there? Can I just stop you there, Victor? Australia will be a target for nuclear attack from whom?
You do not need to know whom it will be, but as a logic, no one wants to target any nuclear-free zone, which now includes Australia.
Australia has said it will not be carrying nuclear weapons. These are nuclear-powered submarines, as indeed China has. But we're not talking about nuclear weapons. So how is it a target?
Listen, do you really believe you can trust what Washington or even what London say? I would say the watershed moment will be if Australia is armed with nuclear submarines to be locally produced in Australia. Australia will lose that privilege of not being targeted with nuclear weapons by other countries, and that should be the wake-up call for the Australians, the 23 million Australians. Do you really want to be a target in a possible nuclear war, or you want to be free from nuclear menace going forward?
Is it like the way he said free?
Free! And meanwhile, everyone's cowering in their homes, not free.
Do you want to be a target or do you want to be free?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just there to...
I'd arrest that guy immediately.
He's in China, so I don't think you have to do a extraction. Now, all of this has brought together more partners of the Build Back Better World Coalition as the leaders of India, Australia, and Japan met with President Biden.
President Biden has hosted the Quad Group at the White House, which is made up
the Quad Group
of the leaders of India, Australia, and Japan. Concern is growing about China's behavior in the Indo-Pacific region, in particular its policy of repeatedly flying warplanes close to Taiwan. And COVID too was on the agenda.
Manifesting
this grouping of democratic partners who share a worldview and have a common vision for the future, coming together to take on key challenges of our age. We made concrete commitments to advance our shared and positive agenda for a free and open Indo-Pacific.
And there is no part of the world that is more dynamic than the Indo-Pacific at this time. A region that has extraordinary opportunity, wide diversity, great wealth, but many challenges that must be overcome.
Japan and India have welcomed a decision by America to equip Australia with nuclear-powered submarines in a newly formed tripartite alliance with Britain and Australia. The four Quad leaders are also expected to announce a coronavirus vaccine initiative.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. So I think they all just want China to attack Taiwan.
There's a segue in there to the vaccines. I mean,
they just threw it in at the end because it's the Build Back Better World. It's all part of that. It's all part of the same thing.
It's a crock of crap, this whole thing. By the way, I do have just as an aside, I found, again, it's an Amy Goodman clip, but you don't have to play the warning. You already played it once.
Thanks for the technical stage direction.
You're welcome. I do my best at it.
You're talking the mic, man. You keep fading away on me.
I know, because I keep having to change my glasses. Okay, here's this one. Worst transition ever. Now, this is democracy. Now, tell me that you heard a lot of segues.
I've heard many, and I've made many in my life.
Tell me this isn't one of the worst segues you've ever... This is one of those... this hour has 30 minutes, whatever was that show in Canada. This hour has 20 minutes. They used to do worst segue, and then they do a series of them. But they were just joking. This is a real one.
As the Delta variant continues to surge across the United States, so too has the housing and eviction crisis.
She should have just said, also the virus of domestic violent extremism. I mean, she could have put anything in there. That's really quite horrible. Well, since we're doing that, you remember that we had Prime Minister Boris Johnson sitting with our President Biden, and President Biden looked like he was nodding off during
he was called out by the British press for this.
What did they say? What did they say happened, the British press?
They dozed off.
That's not what happened, because they interrupt.
I'm just saying what they said.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what.
Sure. Well, Sound Guy Steve took the audio, which is always hard to hear in these types of situations, to see if there was any moment, any trigger moment that set all the press ladies of the White House off. You're like, oh, it's all right, okay, everybody, thank you very much. You know how they do that.
By the way, they had Johnson took 2 questions, and as Biden was going to take a question, they rousted everybody. We talked about it in the last show. Mm-hmm. I saw a clip where they pulled back and showed them rousting him and running him out the door.
Yes,
and people are looking all over the place. It's really good.
I have that. I have that bit on here.
Good. I'm just saying, but when you see it visually, these guys are all looking like what?
Yeah.
Why are they rousting us?
And they were bitching about it. They're bitching about it. Like, holy crap.
They were totally bitching about it.
Sound Guy Steve did the enhanced rotate zoom.
Interrupts or unbalances the Belfast Good Friday Accords. That's the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. That's the...
Wait for it.
Oh, you smell that?
I have no idea. I hope the microphone got it.
Thanks, Steve. It's the things you never would find if you were listening to just any old random newscast.
No, that's for sure.
Never hear any of this good stuff. Producer Steve put a very long, very detailed, not to be read on air, Melbourne boots on the ground report, which I encourage everybody to read, so you can see what your future is like, I would say. Because, man, they are the canary in the coal mine. You know that there's possible contractors being used in Australia for policing? U.S. contractors? You know, the guys in the Ninja Turtle suits that are walking around with police on it?
Well, that must be good pay.
There's pictures of their vests, and there's a logo on it, and that logo belongs to Predator Security and Defense, PSD VIP Executive Protection Training and Facility. And the way those guys act, kneeing people when they're on the ground, first of all, it's like American cops. Second, it's almost like soldiers. The way these people are not necessarily.
These are all spin-offs of Blackwater and some other operations.
Oh,
they were going to do this, and they were going to try to get these guys to work for some of the rural police departments around the country, and no one would ever hire them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like they're hired. I mean, who knows? It's the protests.
They're well paid.
Have you seen any of the protests? Because it's hard to get. But
you
man,
can see them on YouTube.
Yeah, they're just everyone's just
poorly
out all
produced.
the time. Yeah, I mean, poorly produced. It's a protest. People are actually breaking out and protesting. It's serious.
Well, it is.
You put. I really haven't followed the story, although I know what happened. This Meng Waju.
Yeah, Meng.
What happened there? So how did she get out? Wasn't she in house arrest?
Yeah, house arrest. She has 3 mansions in Vancouver that she lives in. She had an ankle bracelet, and she can go from one to the other or anything, or she had to go shop. They just make sure she stayed in the confines of Vancouver. She was living it up in Vancouver as a house arrest prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And she, bitching about the fact that she couldn't go back and forth to China. It wasn't like she was starving to death or anything like that. And, Trump could never get Justin Trudeau to ship her over here. And so somebody did, but meanwhile, of course, the Chinese kidnapped 2 Canadians that have been holding them hostage, literally, claiming that Meng was being held hostage when in fact she was living in one of her properties that she has. She's like a lot of Chinese have places in Vancouver, which is a nice place to have a place.
Mm-hmm.
And so they finally released her back to China. The U.S. Justice of the Department said, well, we'll deal with this later. You don't have to, we'll drop the extradition. We're friends with China now. We don't have that crappy Trump anymore.
Wait, is there someone on record saying something to that effect?
I'm saying I'm doing an Adam Schiff,
gotcha.
I'm telling you what they were saying behind closed doors. It's not recorded. And so they said, well, what are we going to do? Let's send her back. This is a goodwill gesture to China because we need their goods and services. And so we'll send her back. Immediately after claiming that she was held hostage, they released the 2 Canadians. Immediately, like 2 hours later, boom, the Canadians are back. So that was a scam. And now everybody's happy. Meng is back home, and she'll go back and forth to Canada again, I'm sure, at least while Biden's in office, because there's Biden's
So what was the catalyst for this? It's just time to be nicer to China? Out of the blue? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what happened.
Okay, tell me.
Meng bought a whole bunch of Hunter Biden's art. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in the coof down under. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John C. Dvorak.
And in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry, who apparently works on bits. And in the morning, all ships, sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, names and ice out there.
And in the morning to the trolls in the troll room who know I've been working on bits for many, many years. It's a comedy show, people. Get over it already. The trolls are in the troll room at trollroom.io. That's where they hang out. Let's just get right to it. Let's do a little troll count today. See how many of these nutty oozing Whoa! 2298, almost 2,300. Almost 2,300. Too shy of 2,300 trolls. Good trolls. Good good to have you here. Nice. You can find them and join them at trollroom.io. It's live, completely live. We do the show live. And then
it's live.
And then people can troll along right there in the troll room. It's actually a lot of fun. And at the same time, you're listening to No Agenda Stream, noagendastream.com, No Agenda Global Radio. We're 24/7. There's always something going on. It's all talk, no commercials, definitely no agenda. Noagendastream.com and trollroom.io. You can follow John and myself and tens of thousands of producers around Gitmo Nation on noagendasocial.com. Are you Morse coding again?
That's the Morse code thing.
It does sound like Morse code. You can follow him if you want to hear that at John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com. I'm Adam at noagendasocial.com. You can't sign up for noagendasocial.com anymore because this is meant to be a distributed system. That's how the Fediverse works. There are thousands of servers you can join, or you can set one up yourself. You can put it together yourself. It's open source, or for $5 a month, you can set one up. Follow us. The rest will all flow in automatically. And let us thank the artist for episode 1384. This was Code Red. Code Red, everybody. It's Code Red. That was kind of the title we both had, so we knew that the art probably wouldn't be Code Red. We do congratulate Correct the Record, who took my time call of death to heart and had a classic No Agenda tombstone with RIP M5M.
Yes, there was one other competitive piece that we liked, or you liked even more, was The Three Monkeys.
Yes, I did like The Monkeys, actually.
By Kenny Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
And what was but it had one flaw that I pointed out.
It didn't have our names on it. Didn't have Curry and Dvorak.
Curry at the bottom.
Yeah. It's too bad. I also liked the idea of a Mountain Jay's urn, but it didn't translate. You know, with the Emmy on top and the mainstream media urn, like they were cremated. A lot of Bake Back Betters, Build Back Betters, Code Reds. What else was there?
I liked, I used for the newsletter, I used Nestworks Gitmo Nation Awards 2021, I think, or I was going to use, I don't know what I use now that I think about it. But the one I liked was, or just mention this was Rick Harris had a very nice Emmy, which I think is a very nice piece. It was an Emmy
the black
holding
piece?
up a COVID virus.
Yes, that was a nice piece.
The problem is the COVID virus is banned from
it's
the
banned
art.
from all art. Yeah, it's banned.
So it was a nice idea, though. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Shooting blow darts into brown and black babies, not going to fly as album art. Nice try. Nice try, comic strip vlogger.
Yeah, he's
really
off the rails.
Really?
Trying to go for 2 in a row.
No, I don't think so.
I kind of like the blow dart injector box.
Let me see.
Dr. Garbanzo. It's next to the Emmy with the COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of small letters, though.
It was too hard to read
small.
it when you shrunk it. Yeah.
Very small.
Anyway, there you go.
There's also
also the RIP, the one that we did pick from Correct the Record, really was nice on the Twitter because it just took the tombstone.
Popped out. Dude, just popped out. It's beautiful. Thank you, Correct the Record. Congratulations with your win. Thanks to all of the artists who always diligently try. They all try, and it's real effort that goes into it because they have to do it while the show is running live. So it's always appreciated. And man, it's so nice. It's like a cherry on top after every single show. We get to sit down and look at some beautiful art and argue as if we hadn't done anything differently for the past 3.5 hours. We get to one more argument over art. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com. If you have a Podcasting 2.0 app, you can see all of this flowing by. Many of them support the cloud chapters. Go to newpodcastapps.com. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but Twitter announced something pretty big. They announced that you can now send people a tip, which I hate because it has nothing to do with value, a tip through the Lightning Network on Twitter, which is exactly the same thing.
You can only set it up for iPhones.
iOS right now, yeah. But it's a start. It's a start. What is up with you? I'm very excited about this. Like, well, only an iPhone. I'm excited. Twitter is embracing the technology identified over a year ago for podcasting 2.0. I'm kind of excited, and you're just shitting on it. Oh, it's only
I'm not. I don't have an iPhone. And I think people shouldn't be required to have $1,000 iPhone to take advantage of the ability to send 5 cents to somebody's podcast.
Gee, I can't wait for it to be on Android so you can never make that statement again. You don't know what you're talking about. 5 cents. You can send $1,000.
5 cents.
You can send $1,000 if you want. You can send
$10 million, but no one's going to do it. Especially anyone, they're broke buying the damned iPhone.
All right. Let's thank some of our producers, executive producers, and associate executive producers, shall we?
Yes, and I think I'll let you start.
Is that because of your failed what happened to you switching glasses?
Oh, I have...
you had cataracts removed. You had a whole operation, and now you still glasses on, glasses off. I'm still in the
process of healing, and so I can't get a prescription, so I have to wear these various glasses. I wear one pair of glasses to read the spreadsheet, and then I wear a different pair of glasses. I'm going to read something off a sheet of paper right in front of my nose.
Shouldn't that correct, though? Shouldn't it? You got the dual
No, I
thing.
have far... When you get... Okay. When you get a cataract operation, there's different ways you can go. There's different kinds of lenses you can put in. You can get nearsighted lenses, farsighted, whatever you want. It's like glass. It's like glasses, only now they're inside your eyeball. So mine are set for medium to long distance, so I can drive my car without having to wear glasses. I can go
and that's the choice. You had a choice, and you chose that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because then I don't have to wear glasses so much. I only have to wear
glasses. You have to wear glasses when you're reading, when you're working, when you're close to the computer.
Yeah, I don't care because I was already. But here's what happened with my vision: as you get older, this will happen to you. Your eyeball starts to change as you get over. Because I was always nearsighted my whole life, so I like the idea of being different now. And
okay,
so and as I was nearsighted, as I got older, I started getting more farsighted because that's what happens to your eyeball. It does different things, and so your vision starts to change. And so I went through a period of almost perfect vision that lasted about 5 to 6 years. And then I started going more toward farsightedness where I needed to use reading glasses. And I kind of didn't mind that so much. But customized reading glasses are, customized for you because of everyone has a little bit of astigmatism and all these other issues. And so because I don't have my final vision, which won't be available to me for another 30 days or so, I'm having to use these, and the doctor says, you can get some glasses, but I think the idea of just switching glasses, if you got them, just do that, because you'll save the money.
Man, this thing, I think you got a dud. I don't know. Did you get a crosshairs? Can you get crosshairs on your lenses, like a sniper crosshair?
Yes, absolutely.
Gail?
You can also you can get the ones I didn't get because they're too expensive, is you get the lens goes in, it's got a little Wi-Fi camera. And then you can broadcast whatever you're seeing to the spies in the nearby rooms.
In the morning, Crackpot and Buzzkill, says Gail Ebert, who sends in a whopping $2,926 and says this is a long overdue donation, and it comes to you from our entire family. We all listen to the best podcast in the universe, and we're grateful for the work you do to eviscerate the M5M on an ongoing basis. I originally hit my sizzling, sensational, supportive husband, Chris, in the mouth about 2 years ago. However, I did not listen to the show at the time. I read about No Agenda on a subreddit, I think, and knew that he might be interested in it because of the content, and he's familiar with both of you. I just wanted to do yard work, listen to my Rush Pandora station, as I felt my amygdala was nicely sized. Thank you so much. Well, hallelujah. Chris persistently hit me in the mouth, knowing that what he was hearing on the podcast was the same things that I had been yammering about in his ear for almost 25 years, and we never had a fight. Listening to the No Agenda podcast has kept us centered and sane, and we cannot overstate how much it has meant to hit our two human resources in the mouth. Both are wise beyond their young years and inspire us daily with their courage in the face of relentless pressure to conform and shut up. And with that, we respectfully ask for a family de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
The family that no agendas together stays together. Our donation accounting is as follows. $1,000 from Chris, $1,000 from Gail, $926 to be split between the executive producers Sam and John on their quest for knighthoods. Why 2926? Well, Insta Night and Insta Day became a goal, but the 926 is even more important. 926 is the anniversary of the heart attack that almost took me out and away from my beloved family 8 years ago. Thankfully, I survived to be with them and to eventually find the No Agenda community, and I'm grateful for the bonus years and the bonus family. Special shout out to Sir Kevin Deals and our friends at the Charlotte Thursday meetup. Meeting all of you has helped us not feel so isolated in the universe, and we look forward to joining you in Charlotte whenever we can. Also, we're hoping to organize a fall Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina meetup, so stay tuned and be sure to check noagendameetups.com. Upstate, No Agenda listeners, for the roundtable, Chris would like to be known as Sir Spiffy, would like to be known as Dame Look, in honor of John C. Dvorak. Chris is requesting meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and Miller Lite, and as a nod to my dual statehood of Texas and South Carolina, I would like to request Texas sheet cake and shrimp and grits. Perhaps John, you could suggest a nice Beaujolais. From our family to yours, thank you for your courage. It's an honor to be a part of the No Agenda community. Do you have a Beaujolais to recommend, eh?
Well, there's a lot of good Beaujolais out there, but I'll tell you, there's one winery that you don't see it too often, but it does float around. It's called Durdilly, Durdilly, and they make a Beaujolais, especially, and even their cheap ones are surprisingly Beaujolais-y.
Okay.
And I would say, I hate to say any cru Beaujolais usually is pretty good.
Well, how about the Durdilly? We'll just do the Durdilly. Is that good?
Yeah, get a Durdilly.
Okay, Durdilly Beaujolais.
Yeah,
beautiful. And there was no jingles, no karma, as far as I could tell. So, but I'm gonna give him one anyway because holy crap!
You've got karma.
What a family! Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you, y'all. Yeah, no jingles, no karma. It's okay. We gave it to you anyway. Gail, Chris, Sam, and John Ebert, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Thank you for your courage.
Next guy is Sir Scott Littler in Nashville, Tennessee, who donated $2,071, which is a nice donation. And he's in Nashville. And at the bottom of this note it says, couldn't fit note, use PDF. There's nothing. The PDFs are the two notes I have here. And neither one of them are from him.
That whole PDF is him. The whole PDF is him. The 2-page PDF.
It is?
Yes. In fact, I love how it always says, I'm trying not to write War and Peace here. Yeah. You don't see it?
Wait a minute. The whole PDF number 1, or at least the way I have it.
There's one PDF literally titled Scott Littler. -note.pdf.
I didn't see that PDF.
Mm-hmm. I'll start reading while you open it up. In the morning, gents, sometime in 2009.
Okay. We're not going to read it.
No, we're not going to read the whole thing. No. That's
the point. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. Well, why don't you look at the PDF so you can exclaim how long it is while I'm reading it. Sometime in 2009, I followed JCD from that Petaluma-based podcast to a new show with the big-haired VJ, and life has never been the same. They live, and I've got the glasses. I've been thinking about catching up on my contributions to the best podcast in the universe for a few months. I pledged $5 a show sometime in 2017, and my last donation was in August 2018. 2 Thursdays ago, the 19th, it came to my mind that today is a great time to up my knighthood to a barony. I've sent a donation for my 50th birthday today for 2071, which pulls in my birth year and covers my pledge well into 2022. May I be the Baron of 2 geographically distant but connected by me territories? I'd like to be the Baron of Mad River Township and NashVegas. I see no issue, why not? In the past 22 years, I've connected my 2 homes through innumerable 385-mile drives between the home of my birth and future life, Mad River Township, and my 20-year residence in Nashville, Tennessee. Is how I tag it. If the Peerage Committee is feeling particularly cranky today, I'd prefer Mad River Township and can leave NashVegas to the puking tourists and California and Canadian refugees, if so adjudged. And then he literally says, I'm working, editing hard to not be a War and Peace. However, might I make a few book recommendations for my No Agenda family in the spirit of who controls the past controls the future? Yes, and I will post your recommendations into the show notes underneath your credit because it's just way too long. But
it's 1,200 words.
It's a bit long. Yeah. A few jingles and karmas he wants. F cancer for my lifelong friend and deer hunting partner who was recently diagnosed, and for all others so afflicted. Trump's jobs karma for the preservation of current jobs or acquisition of new jobs during these times of witch hunting and protein therapy mandating. Karma for my daughter, the Dame Elizabeth, $520, friends, family, and all No Agenda producers. The No Agenda formula, our formula is this. Yeah, we do that at the end. And boogity, 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 amen. So very happy to do that. I'll give you the hardcore version of the jobs karma after we hit the F cancer.
Joe.
You've got karma.
Much appreciated, Scott. Much appreciated. Little shorter on the notes. Everybody, everybody.
Example.
Everybody.
I'm going to give you an example of a good note. This is a $1,000 note from Sir Missihippie, and he writes, "Sir Missihippie James, I really go by. I have the time and talents, but I haven't really heard or seen how they fit into your program. I'll figure it out. So I'm giving more treasure. I really appreciate the show. Pick my jingles, Jay. That's it. Now, I have to admit that Scott donated twice as much, but if I read this note twice, it would account for the same amount of money. I'm just saying that, we don't. It's just too long.
I don't look at it that way. Look at when you are producing, you're producing. What you send in is content that you're producing. You are obliged as a producer to read it, reread it, read it in front of somebody else, think about how it may sound on the show, how long it is, all of these things. That's what producers do. So if we're going to get into, we should never even consider, some notes are fantastic. I could read them all day, but in general, the whole idea is you're producing. So make it entertaining, put in the information, and read it to your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever. See what if they like it.
If they stay awake.
Could you turn your speakers down just a bit, please? Steve Bandstra from Nashville, Tennessee, 72660. In the morning, boys, please accept this donation to bring my wife Jessica, $289, and myself, $437.60, to damehood knighthood. Whoa! We both work for the same Texas-based company that claims they will not mandate jabs, but also says they will have no choice should Biden's OSHA workaround be implemented. This is nonsense that our company's wild turkey drinking founder would have never caved to. Well, the two of us will not cave to any jab mandate, and should we lose our jobs because of it, at least we have our No Agenda honor. I salute you. Titles. Jessica will be Dame Smokin' Hot Stew, Roundtable Request, Salmon, and Leinenkugel Harvest Patch Shandy. Holy, is that shandy, like the drink shandy?
I believe so.
That's basically 7-Up and beer. Steve will be Sir BNAdstra, Knight of the Nashville Aerodromes, and his request is for filet and spotted cow. Jobs, karma, and that's true, please. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for your courage, Steve Bandstra, Nashville, Tennessee.
That's true.
I wonder where what a spotted cow, what is that? It's not a spotted dick.
Yeah, I thought of making that joke, but spotted
joke,
cow
it's
maybe
a product.
I know.
That's true.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
James Hellems, $500. The secret numerology of this donation represents my latest Biden bucks received. Not a joke. I'd like to use this donation to de-douche my wife, Jamie G.
You've been de-douched.
And happy 42nd around and also he's going to wish her a happy 42nd trip around the sun on the 27th. She is the mother to our let me read this right. 3 3-year-old human resources.
Whoa.
Yes, triplets.
That's not a family. That's a Taliban tribe. 3 years old,
She's
man.
one badass mama bear.
Woof.
Do you have one of those just three across strollers?
Well, they're 3 years old. They're walking now. It's even worse.
Well, I wonder if you had the stroller, because that's when you get to see the guy with the stroller with those three across, and you just look at the guy and you go,
poor fucker.
If you could throw her some job karma, as we just had our Amazon DSP business abruptly terminated by Amazon F. Bezos.
What's the DSP business, you think?
Digital signal processing is what it means
the
to
one
me,
I mean.
but I don't know what.
I don't know what DSP is.
I don't know, something else, I'm sure. Also, if any producers are interested in Native American art, my in-laws run a gallery out of South Arizona. Check it out, NavajoRug.com. Hey, I'm in the market.
Well, I know what DSP is now. All of a sudden,
Bleib sicher.
I think DSP is digital screen printing. Maybe. Let's see if DSP pops up. Digital screen. Yes, digital screen printing machine. There you go. That's probably what it is. So
why would they drop him?
Because Bezos probably saw how successful they were and decided to go do it himself. Isn't that their model? That's their model, man.
Hello.
Shitty ass model. www.Navajorg. JORUG.com. Bleib sicher. Yes, we'll bleib very sicher.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Baron at Large in Bridgewater, New Jersey is on the list with $350. He says, don't mention my name. Okay. Thanks again for all the analysis you two do to keep our heads above the M5M waterline.
the Plimsoll line.
ITM from Baron at Large. Okay.
In the morning to you. Richard Adams from Orem, Utah, 33370. I'm sure the 70 means something. Thanks for the valuable information you deliver every show. I send clips to friends who are worried. Worried about us, worried about the show, worried about life. I recently sent some to an old friend after she went with her husband to get the jab at Costco. She's not scared of needles and has had her other shots, but as she approached the desk, she felt cold shivers from deep inside. Told her husband she was just going to get what they came to buy. He said, "Are you getting the vaccine?" She replied, "No, never." On the occasion of the sun's 70th trip around me here on Earth, whoa! I've joined the Down with Copernicus Club. Damn, I'll get it eventually. Copernicus. Who was Copernicus?
Isn't it Kaepernick? Talking about the football player?
Who was Copernicus?
Copernicus is the guy who discovered the Earth and the Sun and the relationship of the solar system.
Oh, please. Firmament first, crater Earth. I decided to gift myself an executive producership, plus the 70 cents, of course. I've been modestly donating monthly for 7 years. He's got sevens going on here. I like that. Modestly donating for 7 years and finally did the accounting. I found out I'm well past qualifying for baronet, but I'll forgo that honor until I can be a full baron. Please knight me today as Sir Casavant, Knight of the Big Organ. And since my birthday is Wednesday, September 29th, please add me to the birthday list. For jingles, please play 2 Little Gouriers and some septuagenarian old goat karma. There's so many words to learn today. Richard Adams from Utah, and we'll see you on the podium later on, sir.
Yay! Yay!
You've got karma.
Well, the rugs are not cheap. Sven Semmler, I guess. Just Semmler and Bandstra.
Yeah, sounds right.
333.33. After listening without a fail since episode 1 and the DSC before that, I stopped at some point in 2020. I just didn't want to hear any news at all for a while.
That's what we call
Glad to be back.
ostrich.
No doubt I require a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
It's not too much trouble. And it's not. I'd love to hear the No Agenda in the Morning for a balanced and healthy news diet jingle. Okay, Sven.
Yes, Sven. Bastrop on the 16th of October. Big meetup right nearby Bastrop. Make sure you come if you can. I can see how someone would not want to listen to the news in a while. Oh, we're glad you're back, man. That's fantastic. Welcome.
If you wake up with the blues, trying to fill your day with news, there's one thing you must remember: no agenda in the morning.
For a healthy, balanced news diet, try noagendashow.com.
Kevin Armenta from Corona, California, 33333. Everyone heard the call for our executive producership. You should be one of a multimedia property at least once in your life, and it's nice to see Kevin joining. He says, I had a realization the other day. I wanted to share it with you and all the No Agenda producers. I was thinking about the degree to which small but highly motivated groups can sway opinions online. For example, I know the most popular subredditors are echo chambers, usually highly moderated by leftist mods and inundated with content from leftist power users whose content gets boosted from bots. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, Kevin. Get off Reddit. It's useless. It's rotting your brain. Then, he says, I realized something about the people that frequent these super leftist echo chambers like Reddit and Twitter. Here we go. There are some people that are using bots and and astroturfing to boost certain posts that paint a narrative. No, how about hundreds of thousands of bots doing this? But there's also a large number of people that need to rationalize these situations to avoid the anxiety that their worldview is wrong, so they make posts of their own and propagandize themselves. They need to believe Joe Rogan is a dumb conspiracy theorist, so they repost the same videos about horse dewormer. It's like group rationalization exercise. This happens in our culture all the time, which leads to everyday people believing things that aren't true about reality. Some people see this society-wide exercise going on, and they can't help but feel something is wrong. Sherlock. So they look for answers elsewhere. These are the people that listen to the No Agenda show. We have to break the simulation so we can see reality for what it is. And speaking of, I just watched They Live, second reference on today's show, by John Carpenter, on shrooms. And holy F-boys, the CIA was definitely involved in this production. Can I get a biscuit on my 26th birthday? Thank you for your courage. Love is lit.
They always give me a biscuit on my birthday.
I have never done shrooms, but that sounds like a fun way to try. Fun way to start. I like it.
I don't know. It might be a bit much.
I don't know.
By the way, that if people don't know about this movie, we talked about it in the show before.
It's a must watch.
And it's only Carpenter's only first time he goes into science fiction at that level, and then it was a flop, unfortunately, at the box office.
Well, it was also the production of this movie and the editing and the dialogue was complete high school project.
I think it should have won the Academy Award for Best Picture. But I'll bet you that Sir Ronald Gardner, who's next on our list at 33333, agrees. He writes in, ITM Gents, this donation is a switcheroo. Please credit Dame Siena, Lioness of Love and Light, with this executive donation and add her to the birthday list. I believe she's on the list.
She sure is, yeah.
Her birthday is the 28th, and she turns 2. Yep, that's right. One of the younger dames. Throw her some goat karma, and let's call it good.
It's good.
And a big thanks to the greatest podcast in the universe. Okay.
You've got karma.
All good. I don't have anything from Nicholas.
I'll look for Nicholas as you read our No Agenda. By the way, the new coffee, the new blend of Hit in the Mouth dark roast.
Dark roast is dynamite.
This particular batch, it stinks up the car. It's really excellent product. It is really. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah. Well, No Agenda Coffee has sent us a donation, $333 from Knoxville, Tennessee. Dear Crackpot and Buzzkill, NoAgendaCoffee.com continues to be a success. The packaging alone is worth the price of admission.
It's very funny.
It's very good. This donation is your cut of recent sales. There are many reasons to drink No Agenda Coffee. 1, drink it. Oh, we should do. Drink it to avoid wearing a mask. Drink it to hit your friends in the mouth. Drink it to be fully alert for John's vital 3x3 report. And we're back in stock of our what is this? This was something a Jitty single origin coffee?
I think the Jitty coffee.
the Jitty coffee, are hitting the mouth dark roast and in the morning blend are crowd favorites. Get on our coffee subscription plan and save 15 cents. As always, 20% of every sale goes to the best podcast in the universe. We ship fresh every week with a full money back guarantee. It's the perfect daily dose of caffeine to pair with your daily dose of sanity. That's noagendacoffee.com. Please give an R2D2 karma for all the producers. Thank you for your courage, Sir Spro and Sir Bean Brewer of the South. There's a little note here. Would love your continued honest review of the coffee on the show. Yes, this is an honest review. If we didn't like it, we say, thanks for the donation. Your coffee sucks.
No, we wouldn't.
It totally would.
No, we'd say thanks for the donation.
And we'd just be reading this and saying, oh, it's great? No,
we wouldn't say it. We'd just read the donation segment and we say thanks for the donation.
Why wouldn't we give an honest review if we said, well, I didn't quite like it?
We give honest reviews, but I'm not going to the problem with the reviews that involve taste, like coffee, is that you can't be accurate. So you should never, if you give a negative review, it could be just bigoted personal hatred for some minor aspect of the coffee. I think a lot of honest reviews are unfair when they go negative when it involves organoleptic.
Well, now at least I understand your wine reviews when I say I had something I liked.
What did I do?
You're always ragging on my wine. I say I like it.
I don't rag on the wine because I haven't had the wine.
Headache wine. Headache wine is too expensive.
Well, yeah, there's that, but that's beside the point.
You've got karma.
There you go, noagendacoffee.com. We actually do like it. It's good stuff.
No, it is good. It's tasty.
David Korteweg, 312.17 from the Netherlands. Please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
Yes, de-douche me, for I've been sinning twice a week for about 2 years now. The value of your courage cannot be measured in dollars. In the meantime, I've been trying to hit fellow Dutchmen in the mouth, for example, by mentioning No Agenda Show as the best podcast in the universe in my little nephew's friend book. That's kind of creepy. Get them hooked while they're young and fresh. I can report to have found a new victim in the person of my little nephew's father. Got him hooked real good. So I'd like to call out Schwab as a douchebag. Also, a request new human resource karma for my son is on his way into the Matrix. Mommy's doing a fantastic job. She's a keeper. Please stay safe and enjoy my blood money. Thank you very much, David.
You've got karma.
Dame Swaggerprance in Fullerton, 20103. Today, the universe slapped me a reminder to donate. While shopping at my local grocery outlet, bargain market, wearing my No Agenda shirt, I ran into Dame Widow Garrett buying a single origin olive oil that I was not reloading while I was not reloading on Blueberry Cheerios, which is where you get them. So people, don't send me Blueberry Cheerios. I can get them. Just a couple people sent me for some reason. Because the grocery outlet has them. Later, my dinner bill was $33. Indeed, a sign to pony up and not be a hit it and quit it producer post damehood. Yeah, a lot of people are hit it and quit it. That's a good point. Short and sweet, no jingles, just karma for all. 73s. She's a ham.
73s.
She goes to grocery outlet.
Yeah.
She runs into other dames that are at grocery outlet.
She's prime marriage material.
Yeah, somebody should be scooping her up.
73s, Kilo 5, Alpha, Charlie. Oops, here we go. This is the one you deserve. Your karma.
You've got karma.
And then final one on the list, Amy Burlingame.
Not really.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I almost didn't see. We have, we can do Victor right here. Victor Cutting. Do you have from $200, Scarborough, Ontario? I don't have a note from Victor.
I don't have anything, but I'll look while you read the other one.
Amy Burlingame, $200 from Bergen, New York. Jingle request, ISIS in America, Sleepy Joe. Oh, we can do those for you. This associate producership goes to, switcheroo, Andrew Fuller. Okay. Andrew Fuller. Got it. Switch done. Who was a douchebag. And, okay, well, he says, must be immediately de-douched before his upcoming surgery. Okay, so I guess douchebag and then de-douche, I guess.
You've been de-douched.
Please give Andy a big heaping dose of health karma from the Burlingame clan, a family who listens to No Agenda together, survives the freedom-sucking state of New York together. We love you, Andy. Bye. Thank you for your courage. Jacob Burlingame. You know, of course, we got all that for you.
Sheepy-do, 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 sheepy-do.
ISIS. We will follow them to the gates of hell. ISIS.
You've got karma.
And last is Victor Cutting from Ontario, Canada. And let me look what he's not. I don't have a note from him under Victor Cutting. Yeah, but let me just see if there's any late donation notes that came in, because sometimes people come in after midnight with these things, and we'll see. And
the answer is no.
The answer is still loading because there's thousands of these.
Okay, well, I do have a make good while you're doing that.
Yeah, do that.
So let me get this here. This is from Tori
the answer
Smith.
To my question, by the way, is no. There's no note here with the name or with the title or subject line donation, which is what you want to do if you want to get read.
And please consider copying your notes to notes@noagendashow.net. Tori Smith. I make good. Somehow my note didn't make it for my donation of $3.33 on last Sunday's show, episode 1383. I'm Tori, not Tony Smith from Colorado Springs. Been listening since 2011 and never donated. My smoking hot wife, Jackie, finally got me to take the leap after reminding me to donate every time we saw the number 33 since I hit her in the mouth last year. We hope you never find an exit strategy. Love is lit. Jingle requests. Mariachi Obama, no. Al Sharpton, resisting much. And patriotic baby making karma.
But resist we much. We must and we will much about that be committed.
Okay, you know what? No. Hey.
You've got karma.
You know, we forgot about, when Obama did that, he invited a bunch of people over to some room in the White House, just a bunch of randos.
Yeah, and he was angry, and he said, if you're in the house...
They started taking the booze, and they started putting, taking stuff and shoving it in their pockets, and he got irked about it, and that's what he did. No, this is my house.
I think I may have that. Let me see. There was
a very screwy situation that he created for himself.
Well, because it was... Oh, here's... Okay, I know what it was. It's because we had a longer version. Here, I'll play a little bit of this. You can hear it in there.
Okay, you know what?
I think it was in here.
No. Hey, no.
It's the same thing, apparently. No, it was a different jingle. You can go in the house, drinking the booze. Oh, what was that one? Come on, trolls. It was a great jingle. It's been too long, man. Up in the house. Oh, too much crap in my head.
And
that's it. Those are our executive...
I want to thank all these folks for being the producers, executive producers, associate executive producers for show 1375 is 85. We're 85.
1385, baby, 1385. We are rocking and rolling on the way to 1400 and our 14th anniversary on October 26th.
I think so.
I think it's 26 or 27. Thank you, trolls, by the way.
Okay, you know what? No. What? Listen, you're in my house, drinking the booze. No.
It was even better. I remember the media at the time had this news story. Obama was heckled, and he definitely took care of it. And then we went and watched C-SPAN. It was 25 minutes of him doing that, and the heckler not stopping, and people trying to get the heckler out. And then he went into, "You're in my house, drinking all the booze. Get out, behave, baby."
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I just remember it was a fiasco.
Yeah, well, nicely covered up, though. Nicely covered.
Of course, that's what you do.
Thank you to our executive producers and associate executive producers. This is incredibly important what you do, and wow, have you guys supported the show. Thank you. Remember to produce your notes. Produce them like a producer as well. It's just as important. We ask for 3 things: your time, your talent, your treasure. Any one of them is good. All 3 is even better. If you'd like to become an executive producer or associate, or just learn how to support the show, go to this webpage,
Dvorak.org/NA.
And thank you all for professionally producing episode 1385 of the No Agenda Show.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order! Order! Shut up, slave!
Shut up, slave!
I read the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act.
It's nothing. It's just the same old rubber stamp. Was anything new in it?
Well, I think what was going on, there's always something new. What's new this year and really has 3 sections is gender inclusion, specific gender programs, diversity, equity, inclusion. They snuck in some red flag laws for confiscating guns. That was nice. But all of that was in the mainstream was kind of covered up by the actress known as Sandy Cortez. She did a great job of grandstanding about this vote, because she made it all about the Iron Dome. Of course, like every year, we fund the Iron Dome in Israel, and she's such a pro-Palestinian that she had to go in and make a big stink and then voted present, because Nancy wouldn't let her vote against. And I think that just that was meant to cover stuff up.
In tears.
Yeah. Oh, what a phony! This is a phony. Yeah. So I think that was to cover up all the nut job stuff that's in this. But okay, that's how it goes. Kind of. I did a lot of reading, so there was no extra space force stuff or any off-world budgets that I could find, but a lot of social, basically the NDAA environmental social governance version, except for the actual pollution that they make and the people they kill. But hey, we're environmental and socially governed.
Oh, it's about time.
The wall down by Del Rio in Texas has been really interesting.
I do have a bunch of Haiti reports.
No, let's do that, and then I'd like to. I got 3 clips from the border. What you got in Haiti? Oh man!
First I've got 4 clips, and one of them is the Democracy Now! Rundown, and we've already warned about Amy, and here she goes.
The U.S. Special Envoy to Haiti has resigned in protest over the Biden administration's policies. In a letter, the longtime diplomat Daniel Foote wrote, quote, "I will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees." Foote also criticized the Biden administration for meddling in Haiti's political affairs, including its support for Ariel Henry as Haiti's prime minister following the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse in July. Foote wrote, quote, "The cycle of international political interventions in Haiti has consistently produced catastrophic results." Foote's resignation came just days after U.S. Border Patrol agents on horseback were filmed chasing, grabbing, and whipping Haitian asylum seekers who'd gathered in a makeshift camp in Del Rio, Texas. On Thursday, the Department of Homeland Security banned the use of horses in the area, but deportations continued despite growing criticism from human rights advocates. The New York Times reports the Biden administration has now deported nearly 2,000 Haitians since last week. About 3,000 Haitians remain in the makeshift camps in Del Rio, while thousands of others have been allowed to stay in the United States.
Yeah, so the funny bit of all this was the horses, was the Border Patrol and the horses. And it was funny until the administration, the president and the vice president, started lying and saying that these men on horseback were whipping them. And, and it went from whipping to, they tried to move it around, but man, here's the vice president, if you don't mind, just because.
Well, my favorite part is when these other radicals came out and said they're weaponizing these horses. And my favorite part of weaponizing these horses is, have you ever been to New York City?
Yes, I have.
Where there's a police horse squad, and that's what horses are for. They're just there to intimidate people.
They are literal weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you don't weaponize a weapon. Hey, weaponize that pistol.
These people are stupid. Here's our vice president.
What I saw depicted about those individuals on horseback treating human beings the way they were is horrible. And I fully support what is happening right now, which is a thorough investigation into exactly what is going on there. But human beings should never be treated that way. And I'm deeply troubled about it. The whole point is that we have to understand Haiti. I mean, talk about a country that has just experienced so much tragedy that has been about natural disasters. We really have to do a lot more to recognize that as a member of the Western Hemisphere, we've got to support some very basic needs that the people of Haiti have to get back up.
Well, just like your communist Amy there, this is all not true. These people did not come from Haiti 10 years ago, and they went to Brazil, and that's where most of them are from, and they've had lives, maybe not the best.
They're also in Colombia, Venezuela, and they're throughout South America.
Throughout South America. But she's making it sound like, oh, by the way, not a single report on president assassination, earthquake, hurricane. No one cared about Haiti, but now, the poor Haitian people. A disingenuous woman, this Kamala Harris, but nothing compared to the shock jock Maxine Waters.
I'm pissed. I'm unhappy, and I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys who were running down Haitians and using their reins to whip them. I'm happy with the administration. We are following the Trump policy. He is the one that does not follow the Constitution and would not allow those seeking refuge to be able to petition to get into the country. What the hell are we doing here? What we witness takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery.
Oh, okay.
Cowboys
with
their reins again whipping black people, Haitians, into the water where they're scrambling and falling down when all they're trying to do is escape from violence in their country.
Yes, Brazil.
It is unfortunate that it is the poorest country in this hemisphere.
Brazil?
It is unfortunate that they have no stable government right now. It is unfortunate that they've had to live through earthquakes. I've been working with Haitians for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Importing them.
I've been working through 2 coups d'etats.
Coup d'etat!
I went to the Central African Republic, and I brought back Aristide after he was exiled into the Central African Republic.
She's great.
They have always been between Canada and France and the United States treated worse than anybody else.
Take it home.
And so, yes, we are here and we're organized and we're saying to the president and everybody else, you got to stop this madness. And I want to know in the first place, who's paying these cowboys to do this work? They've got to be gotten rid of. They've gotten to be stopped. It cannot go on. And so I thank all of you for being here today. Write the story. Tell the story.
Write the lie.
About what is going on. And let people know that they're trying to take us back.
Here we go.
To slavery days.
There it is.
And worse than that. And the children who are unfortunate to be in this situation must be allowed into the United States immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but immediately.
Yeah. So, lies. She really doesn't know that these are Border Patrol agents. Or she is a shock jock, so maybe just for effect. But she thinks that these are just cowboys. Just some random cowboys who are Jim Crowed up? Please. Do you really think she's that stupid?
Yeah, I actually do. Now, there was a very interesting documentary that was impossible to clip, but it was on, and it was on PBS under they had this show called Point of View, where some independent cinema, documentarians go out with their cameras and they do these documentaries that are they're obscure. And this was a documentary about the Dominican Republic, right next door to Haiti. If Haiti's got all those issues, they can move to the Dominican Republic. No, not after I think it's called Resolution 12, where they rousted all the Haitians from Dominican Republic because they hate them. And the Dominican Republic nationalists, who are mostly women, they literally hate the Haitians. They think they're a bunch of rapists and criminals and murderers, and they won't let them in their country. So the Haitians have to go every place else. What is wrong with the Haitians that they're just such troublemakers? This documentary is a real eye-opener, listening to these Dominicans just bitch and moan about the Haitians and the poor. Many Haitians were living in the Dominican Republic for a long time, and they had to leave.
They got kicked out? Really?
They got kicked out. It's a scandal what's going on in the Dominican Republic. If you're going to take a look at what we're doing at the border, try to understand what's going on there first.
And it's interesting because they're on the same island. When they had the earthquake, only Haiti was destroyed. The Dominican Republic, isn't it just, it's the same landmass, correct?
Yeah, it's one big island. It's cut in half.
They had nothing?
Or with a border in between one and the other. I mean, there was no coverage of anything that happened in the Dominican Republic. We never cover it.
No, the only thing we know is that the woman who worked for Hillary Clinton was trying to smuggle 12 children out to the Dominican Republic, presumably for adrenochrome harvesting. And now she's, isn't she in charge of, some protect the children outfit?
I think she's she's a Democrat operative.
Yeah.
Now let's, I have some clips. I have a contrasting series of clips, so I can just skip the beginning, and we can just jump right to the chase. There was a good foot on the ground report on Fox.
Must have been Bill at the border.
I don't know who it was actually, but here he is. And I'm not going to play the CBS. Well, actually, let's play the CBS. They're not that long. Let's play Haiti migrants and CBS. This is when it was at its actual peak of being problematic. And then they just leave out too much information on these networks.
We turn now to the worsening humanitarian crisis in a squalid tent city at the U.S. southern border, and new details about a large number of...
Let me just stop there for a second. Not a tent city. I've been watching these Haitians. They built their city pretty quick and expertly out of twigs and brush. Did you see that? Do you see their little...
Yeah, it's a shanty town. They know how to do it.
Yeah, but it's not like a horrible tent city. No, they know exactly what they're doing.
They've rousted the homeless from a lot of the little tent cities we have here in the Berkeley area.
Oh.
I don't know where they all went. We've all noticed this. In fact, that area by the freeway, which was loaded with was a tent city, is now all roused. It's gone, and it's all fenced in now. It's very strange. I have to look into this. Something's up.
I should look into the mud flats if I were you.
We turn now to the worsening humanitarian crisis in a squalid tent city at the U.S. southern border, and new details about a large number of Haitian migrants that are being admitted to the U.S. with dates to appear in court. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez is in Del Rio, Texas. Good evening, Manny.
Good evening, Nora. Tonight we have learned the Biden administration has issued a request for a private contractor to help possibly house up to an additional 400 migrants at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, seeking guards who speak Haitian Creole. Tonight, mixed messages from the Biden administration. CBS News has learned more than 1,000 mostly Haitian migrants have been allowed to enter the U.S. as part of the legal asylum process, undercutting the administration's hardline stance that anyone arriving at the border will be immediately deported.
Many of the individuals whom we encounter claim asylum and have a right to have those asylum claims heard as our laws provide.
Border Patrol has not explained how it determines who is released and who is deported. Those who are allowed to enter have notices to appear in immigration court within 60 days. Tiffany Burrow, who runs a nonprofit in the city, says her office is helping hundreds of migrants a day who are released.
I don't know if it's safe to say that during your time in this specific part of the border, that you've never seen anything like this.
No. We are a tiny, rural community. I mean, that's half the size of our town.
Yeah, and I've been looking very closely at these images, and I'm really missing luggage. I'm missing dirty clothing, dirty shoes. This looks so planned and orchestrated. You know, unless there's some tour group in Brazil. You know, they were flown in and
tour group to start.
Yeah, they were flown in and like Thomas Cook.
It's very strange. I agree with you. Let's play the part 2 of the CBS, then we'll play the Fox, and we can talk about it.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott sent a fleet of state-owned vehicles as a symbolic barricade along the border.
Just outside the bridge camp, there are state troopers lined up as far as the eye can see in either direction here. The point is to build a wall of vehicles to prevent anyone from slipping into the U.S.
Inside the camp, conditions continue to deteriorate as thousands await their fate. The U.S. is preparing to nearly double the number of Haitians deported by air. More than 1,000 Haitians have been deported since Sunday. Tempers flared in Port-au-Prince as some of the deported migrants tried to rush back into the plane. Back at the border, the anxiety over deportation is palpable. These teen girls left Haiti with their family for South America when they were just babies.
So you know no one in Haiti. If they deport you, you'll be on the streets. Estarían en las calles, dice.
Sí.
Officials say the number of migrants still at that bridge camp has dropped dramatically from a height of about 15,000 to now just over 5,000. Nora?
Manny Bajorquez, thank you. Well, tonight the search for Gabby Petit.
You know, it's just like the homeless in Berkeley. They let them in, John. By the way, the homeless in Berkeley are in hotels. Go ahead and take a look. They're in hotels. This is... I lost my train.
Well,
they let them in. They let them in. They let them all
No, they let
in.
most of them in. They've shipped a few out as kind of showpieces.
But you know how they do this with the children? Because if you have a child with you, then you're good to go pretty much.
You're gold.
So Al Sharpton came to Texas and went to the border, Del Rio, and I'm sure you've seen some of the heckling. He was heckled.
I don't
from the
believe
get-go.
this clip to be real.
Oh, I have both angles of this clip. I don't know what clip you're talking about, but I have about 45 seconds.
Where you don't hear Sharpton, you just hear the heckler?
Yep. Well, I have two mixes. I initially clipped the one where you just hear the heckler because that vantage point is next to the heckler. This one is Sharpton full on. This is the footage that was intended for broadcast, but listen to what the guy is actually saying about the kids as he's heckling him.
To my left is the former U.S. ambassador to South Africa. Why are you not being vaccinated at the border? And to his 40% right, children that have come in from the companies are now missing from the border. Jennifer Jones Austin. Kids are being sedated at the U.S. border. Why are you not being a voice for the children? From Atlanta, Georgia, New Birth Baptist Church, Reverend Freddie Hayes.
Why are you stoking racism where it doesn't exist?
How much money? Why are you trying to come and why are you standing up? Why are you here?
You hear what they're saying?
Yeah, but it's hard to hear what they're saying. But here's the reason I question this clip is because I've seen Sharpton in these situations where somebody's heckling him, and he either goes after him, he doesn't just blindly blah 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 keep talking like he's never hearing it. He goes after him, or his stooges go by and they remove the people.
John, this is real. This happened. I've seen all the footage. It happened. It's real. It's real.
I've just never seen Sharpton be so passive, ever.
The GOP infighting is escalating. Politico says Democrats are outright jitty.
Well, there's that.
So they're sedating kids at the border. They're sedating the kids at the border. To make them compliant to say, oh, it's my kid.
Well, they also said, there's a reason for separating the ones, and they shipped some back to Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
They did that. We know that. And they let some come in. And let's play the Fox thing, and then I have my thoughts on the whole thing.
Some are going to Maryland, some are going to Florida, some are going to New York. One woman just gave birth to a baby here under the bridge 6 days ago. So you're seeing it. You heard DHS Secretary Mayorkas say the other day that these migrants are going to be expelled. Don't come here. Your journey is not going to succeed. You will be sent back. That's not entirely true, because these migrants are being released by the thousands. And just to wrap it up, what my sources on the ground are telling me is Border Patrol are giving these migrants NTRs when they release them. That is a notice to report. What that means is they are asking these migrants to please show up to an ICE office within the next 60 days. It is a request. It is not an NTA, which is an order. An NTA stands for a notice to appear. That is much stricter, telling them an exact time and date of when to show up. We'll send it back to you.
So I figure what they do, they bring, the guy comes in, and they're going to decide they're going to ship him back, they're going to kick him, they're going to push him back to Mexico, they're going to deport him to Haiti, or they're going to let him go in the country. And the guy goes up to say, "Are you going to vote Democrat?" And the guy says, "Yeah." "Okay, you're good to go." "Are you going to vote Democrat?" I don't know, maybe not.
John, no. This happens before they get on the Thomas Cook organized trip. That's where the question is asked before they're even shipped up to the border.
Nobody knows the reference to Thomas Cook anymore. It's funny that you'd use it. I'll bet you half the audience. Ask the troll room. Do you know who Thomas Cook is? I think it's funny that you said that. But, yeah, maybe they check him out first. You guys are going to vote Democrat, we'll get you to the United States. You just have to vote. Yeah, you're probably right.
This is on purpose, and and I'm not so happy with it, because it's coming into Texas, and I know what's eventually going to happen is Texans are going to go down to the border and take care of it themselves, and then Maxine Waters will have something to complain about.
I think they're shipping most of them out of Texas.
Well, I think to me personally, this whole move is for one thing and one thing only. It's to get rid of Abbott. They have this guy checkmate. He's in irons. He can't do anything. He doesn't know what to do. He's afraid to do something. And Texans are starting to hate on him quite a bit. Now, what are our alternatives? Because he is up for a re-election. We have on the Republican side, Alan West, who I don't know about him, man.
Isn't he a Floridian he's a carpetbagger?
Could be. No, I think Alan West has always been a Texas guy, hasn't he?
He's talking, and I'll look it up.
Well, he's running for.
I've seen him. I'm with you. I've never been a fan of Alan West. I think he's smug.
Yeah,
and he's something creepy about him.
There's definitely something creepy.
By the way, he's gone way down from his early days when he was like arrogant. He's he's smug, but less arrogant.
Yeah, he was in Florida's. He was a representative. Congressman for Florida.
Yeah, so he's a carpetbagger. Came to Texas seeing the opportunity. I don't see him as governor material. You think the Republicans could do a better job than that?
We don't have a better candidate for the Republicans. We do have two Democratic candidates. Top of the list, which is just funny, Beto. Number two is Matthew McConaughey. Although he's not officially running, but he keeps being talked about. Oh, how great would that be? To which I say, nope.
So what you told me right there in that short little summary of Texas politics is that your next governor is going to be Beto.
No, but that's what they want. This is all to cripple. This is only to cripple Greg Abbott. Everything they're doing is to flip Texas blue. That's what all of this is about. All of it.
Crazy about.
So there's that's why Maxine Waters, cowboys. That's why she's building a narrative. Look at these racist cowboys in Texas. Can't keep their electricity running. They whip black people. Hello. That is what is happening here.
Well, welcome to the New World Order.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Finally.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
So I have a bunch of Trump clips I want to get.
Yeah, good. I want to hear what the new shtick is, the new spiel.
But before we get to him, let's play. I do have an Al Sharpton clip where he kind of teases the Trump rally, which took place in Perry, Georgia. And he's doing it by asking a question. I thought this was one of the most loaded questions. I don't have the question and answer. I just have Sharpton showing what a bigoted creep that he is. But this is his loaded question to one of the panelists. He's got his little panels. And, but it's just, I thought it was so funny. It's a good introduction to the Trump rally.
The disgraced former president refuses to give up his campaign rally, spreading his big lie against all evidence to his most loyal supporters. He'll be speaking tonight in the small town of Perry, Georgia. Susan, this is a man who lost by millions of votes and yet still has the party in lockstep with him. Is there any way Trump doesn't end up the 2024 Republican nominee poised to repeat his coup attempt?
Coup attempt?
Poised to repeat his coup attempt.
Poised to repeat the coup attempt. Yeah.
What a
Sharpton.
So here's the theme. Here's the Trump theme of rally. I just said these clips are, except for one, they're all short.
We're going to take back our country from these lunatics.
From the lunatics. Yes.
From the lunatics. Now, he went after everybody, and he did a really good couple of... First of all, there was new information that came to light.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks a little bit. Here's a 46-second. This is a longer clip.
I've got information,
the airport.
Man. New shit has come to light.
What does he have?
He talks about that airport, the Bagwan airport, which was the big $2 billion monster airport.
Bagram, not Bagwan.
I don't know why I keep saying that, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. So it turns out that they were going to keep that airport as part of the deal with the Taliban. It was going to just be the kind of a jumping off point. It was going to be like a Guantanamo, just owned by the Americans, and that we weren't going to have anything else to do with the country. I didn't realize that at the time, but he talks about it a little bit here. So let's go Trump on Bagwan.
In Bagram, we were going to keep the airbase because it's right next to China. And their military institutions and their installations, and they have a lot of things surrounding it. And we had this big, beautiful airbase that cost billions of dollars to build. And we were gone. We didn't even turn out the lights. And one day we were gone. And you know who's looking at it now and who's all over it? China! We were never leaving that. We had a perfect plan, and they were listening to us. Abdul, you can't shoot our soldiers. You know what? For 18 months, we didn't have one soldier killed. They listened to me. I said, you can't do it, Abdul. We'll hit you harder than you've ever been hit. You can't do it.
And that part of Trump I do miss, where because that he was in the meeting with Abdul and said, dude, you can't shoot at our guys. I'm going to have to mess you up if you do that. That part I miss about him.
Yes. Well, he also brought in, with continuing that story, he brought in a little thing. I'm surprised they didn't condemn him for this, but this is Trump on the Taliban deal, SOB.
Because they were never hit at their home. But we know where their homes are. And we were going to hit them very hard. And they understood that. That's why, I told you before, 18 months we didn't have one soldier killed. And even Biden said that. It was a mistake. He said, well, I will say that no soldiers have been killed in 18 months. And his people are screaming at him, don't say that, you stupid son of a bitch.
Thought that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So now here's
he can't say you stupid son of a bitch. That's
no. I mean, calling the president of the United States is disrespectful.
No, that is disrespectful. I agree. But he's saying that's what they said to him.
Yes. No. But they did. No one called him out on this one. I think they're trying not to cover him at all. So here's Trump. Here's the other new information that came to light. This is the concession. I didn't know this.
Concession.
Up 1 million votes. Well, we went up 12 million votes, and they say we lost. But there never has been a concession. You do know that, right?
Concession? As in a concession?
He
never conceded. Mm-hmm. This is
that. You knew that?
Yeah, this is what keeps the Q thing alive. This is it. Well, I never conceded, so okay, he can come. Look, he's still entertainment. The guy is entertainment.
Here he is. He goes after Hillary. This is just the beginning of a long spiel against Hillary, where he tells stories. But I just thought this 11 seconds was quite funny.
made up by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. How would you like to have her as your wife? No, but think of this. I mean, Bill Clinton, he's living in fear.
Wait, did you hear? Sorry. Did you hear Hillary getting heckled in Belfast?
No.
Yeah, so she this happened last year. She's the chancellor of the Belfast University. Let me get the exact title here. Yeah, chancellor of Queen's University Belfast. So she goes into the university for her anointment or whatever it is, or her secret handshake pledge, and she's got the whole chancellor gown on, almost like a royal red gown. You just need some henchmen carrying it behind her. And here's what the fine people of Dublin had to say. Thank you, Dublin. That's how much appreciated. Let her know worldwide she's disliked, please.
So this is my last clip, and this is Trump going off on Miley, which we had to expect. But and then he takes it a little longer and discusses about why we left stuff behind when we shouldn't have or didn't need to, and all the rest of it. But this is the Trump on Miley.
Millie said to me one time, I'll never forget it, "Sir, it's more expensive. It's more expensive, sir, to take the equipment than to leave it." I said, "Really? You mean you have a $10 million tank? You put it on a plane and that's more expensive than leaving it?" He said, "It's more expensive." And I never forgot that statement because that's probably the first time I realized that he was stupid. But you know what I did say? I said, "So we have brand new aircraft just out of the factory, and it's sitting on the runways, and our soldiers are fleeing and surrendering to guys with knives." Good fighters, by the way, but guys with knives that I got along with very well. They understood they're not going to screw around. I almost used the F word. And it would have been more effective if I did, but they would have... He used a horrible word, so I didn't do it. Remember, I didn't do it. It would have been so much more effective if I used the word.
I see, I get tired of this.
Maybe later on. But with Millie and with all these people, they flee. I said, why wouldn't you have brought in 200 pilots? 200, we have the best pilots in the world. We have the best soldiers in the world. We have the best military in the world. I rebuilt the military. Space Force, don't forget Space Force. I rebuilt. So why wouldn't you bring over real fast? First of all, you shouldn't have left anything behind. So I don't even like this idea. But assuming they really wanted to leave it behind because they're stupid, why wouldn't you bring over 200 pilots? Just take the planes and fly them to Pakistan. And then you bring them over, or fly them to some other country of which we give them all so much money that they all treat us well, okay? We get ripped off by everybody. But why wouldn't you fly the planes out? Instead, they leave the planes. And then they said, because they were so embarrassed, because they probably didn't even know what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. They said, we disabled it. You know what they did? They let the air out of a couple of tires of one plane.
He's not correct on that. But what he does, and this irritates me, instead of saying, hey, man, I think this is what he probably knows why they did this. He always just turns it into a talking point that people can argue about and repurpose and left it, why they leave the stuff, instead of really, he knows what's going on. We all see what's happening. We see the mayhem that is these are not just mistakes. In fact, I will quote you, I don't buy that. They're not dumb. They're evil. I think they're evil, not dumb. Evil. And so that's what he does. I would prefer him just saying they're evil and they want to kill you. Just say the truth instead of the shtick. Takes so long to get to a punchline.
That's his latest.
I do have one clip. I have one clip of him that you did not get. I didn't watch it, but this popped up on my timeline this morning, so I'll play this.
Officials also took $45 million from Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg to fund election-related activities. Well, they should be looking at that. What is that all about?
Lock him up for Zuckerberg. That's new. I think the whole...
like it said, fuck Facebook is what it sounded like they were chanting.
Oh, no, lock him up. But some of them may have been chanting F Facebook. So I also...
Well, before you go off Facebook, you might as well play this clip, which is, again, an Amy clip, but this is Facebook being scrutinized.
No. I need to stick with Trump for a second, because this is not about Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just still on Trump.
Yeah. I looked at the Maricopa County Forensic Election Audit. In fact, I didn't just look at it, I read the whole thing. And I'd like to give my viewpoint as
was expected.
As an analyst.
The way you got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 97 pages, prepared by... it's actually quite a serious group, the Cyber Ninjas. It's a name that would make someone like Rachel Maddow do this incessantly.
The Cyber Ninjas.
Yep, exactly. Because she has no content. What is interesting is that this immediately, from a leaked version, Trump lost by even more than he... There's no conclusion. This is an audit. There's no conclusion. It's not a count. It's an audit of everything that all the discrepancies they found. Now, here, I'm going to give you my top line review. Both the Democrats and Republicans cheated with ballot shenanigans. The Democrats cheated better, for sure.
Yep.
For sure
they
cheat. They both cheated. I mean,
they both cheat. There's a bunch of cheaters. These elections stink.
So obvious. And we're talking like maybe 4% difference in the cheating. However, when it comes to the Dominion voting machines, and they went through great detail. I mean, first of all, there were over 300,000 ballot images deleted. All the access logs were deleted. They never got access to the router and logs of the router. The machines were completely out of date, had not been updated with software or virus definition since installed in 2019, which, according to the report, the Maricopa County said, well, it would have ruined the certification. That would be true if they had not installed Dominion software after the fact. They were all connected to the internet. One of them had a dual boot drive. These are all things that may or may not have been part of bad faith actors. Regardless, the shit that is going on with these machines and the technology they use is not anything any American should ever want their votes to be a part of, or their voting to be a part of. I mean, we're talking multiple EMS SQL databases that have just, admin access everywhere, the people just hacking stuff in manually. All these machines pretty much compromisable if they weren't already compromised. And there is no conclusion. There's only recommendations of what we need to do. And that would be a very good thing for people to look at and discuss, because, the next election, if this is what it is, this is not okay. The whole technology piece is a mess, as you'd expect. So let's just do paper ballots. Let's just stop with the insanity. At least I'm speaking on behalf of Texas. If you were to tally up all the things, if half of them come true in the favor of Trump, half of them could come true in the favor of Biden, but not on the voting machine. That's purely the county and the state. I would say that Trump definitely had an advantage in the votes. But it's completely moot point, because this report says everybody cheated. Everybody cheated. The only thing that couldn't be cheated on easily was the voting machine. And the Democrats did a better job. And Fox called it. Fox called it on election night, and Fox called it the minute this report was leaked, because they had to, of course, protect their own call. It's in the show notes. Take a look at it. Dude's named Ben. Dudette's named Bernadette. We'll have a good time with this. If you want to see some people using Microsoft Windows for voting and how probably not to do it. This is the document for you.
Well, good for cyber ninjas.
Yeah.
Cyber ninjas.
Cyber ninjas.
The cyber ninjas.
Cyber ninjas. Zuckerberg, now this is part of the purge. This is interesting. Yeah, so I think there's still more to come with this election stuff. We're never going to get Trump reinstated, or we're not going to see that, but there is more crap to come. It's just, most people won't hear about it. Zuckerberg, though, that skewering has really worked. Ben Rhodes, who used to be a speechwriter for Obama, this is where I got the clip, actually, from Ben Rhodes. Facebook sold its soul and got a lock 'em up chant in return while doing its part to destroy democracy around the world. And then Dan Pfeiffer, wasn't he also a speechwriter for Obama?
I don't know.
This speech is a real indictment of the entire strategy employed by Facebook public policy team. Years of twisting themselves into a pretzel to appease Trump, only to have him throw Zuck into imaginary Gitmo. Everybody hates Zuckerberg. That's pretty good.
I don't know. They've done a really good job of demonizing Facebook and Instagram in particular, and they're using this.
Yep.
I don't know if it was a report, but Democracy Now! Even covered it. But all the networks covered it.
Yep.
I have the Facebook scrutinized soon Democracy Now! Clip, and of course they're going to bring Zuckerberg back to Washington.
And Facebook's global head of safety is set to testify before a Senate panel next week amidst mounting concerns the social media platform can seriously damage young people's mental health. Last week, the Wall Street Journal published a report based on internal Facebook documents revealing its Instagram app makes many adolescent users, particularly teenage girls, feel bad about themselves and can lead them towards harmful content. The report also shows Facebook was aware of the negative impacts of the app, but did not take any action to address the issue.
Yeah, they're going after Facebook. But they're going after a lot of people. I'm seeing people...
Yeah, but let's back off a second here and let's take a look at one reality that nobody wants to discuss.
I do. Whatever it is, I'm ready.
Facebook is owning the advertising market. It is killing mainstream media. But this is
What?
Facebook is like the place that the M5M is directly affected by this.
Yep.
And so they're we can go after Facebook. We got some bullshit here about the Instagram. It's hurting teenage girls. Oh, those poor teenage girls who otherwise would be just prim and proper and everything would be great because teenage girls never had problems before Instagram.
You're absolutely
right,
Those
teenage
John.
girls are so pure. And so they're going after Facebook because it's killing them. Their business is under attack by Facebook.
100% spot on. Absolutely right. Not under attack. Their business has been stolen.
Well, yeah, your perspective.
But again, but think about it. How does Facebook? How do they measure? They measure also with time. Amount of time viewed.
Yeah, but they have a huge advantage. They can actually prove it.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Advertisers love any sort of proof.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't play it on the last show. Did you see or hear about Judy from PBS drilling Bill Gates about Epstein?
I had that clip.
I had it too, but let's play it now because we have to hear this. And this is not Judy being interested. This is Judy taking Bill Gates down or setting him up. There's something going on. I see the trend. It's all over the place.
Was reported
Bill
at that
Gates
time.
is definitely a target. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Gates, big
he's
target.
a target.
But his answer was just head shaker.
Was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
He just realized what he said.
Very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation.
He just realized in that very moment, he's like, "Holy shit balls! The no agenda guys are going to clip this and ridicule me."
He's dead.
He's dead. So, but the question was, the question is there a lesson to be learned? Well, he's dead, so you always got to be careful. I mean, how can I interpret? My brain only wants to interpret that one way. Well, two ways. One, well, if I'm doing Epstein stuff, I could wind up dead. You got to be careful. Or there is no or. I mean, is he saying that he
and Judy, by the way, at least in the second to the last question, you could hear her nervousness. This was scripted for her.
Let me hear it again. That's a good point.
Direction.
And by the way, when she you can't hear it, of course, but he shakes his head violently no when she brings up that second question, like a boom, boom. You can see it on the monitor behind her.
Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in
Let's hear the nervousness.
He purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
I also smell Melinda in the background. Melinda's part doing something here. I think you don't want a woman like Melinda Gates scorn, baby. Let me tell you. She will smother him and crush him like a bug. She has the money. The money's already taken care of. This is about him. She's insulted.
An embarrassment to her.
Yeah. But don't you get the feeling if you look
Well, see, the problem, it was always an embarrassment because everyone knew that Bill in the business, and she knew too, that Bill fooled around.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that he fooled around with their big mouths to tell everybody. You find out about it, didn't take a genius. And she knew, but it was always kind of, at least it was on the down low and nobody knew. It's okay, fine. The general public doesn't care. And she was happy with that. And then when the Epstein thing came out, it was a public humiliation. Huge difference. You can have a philanderer as a husband, as long as it's like not a public humiliation, like with this Epstein thing, and that was the end.
Well, I would say the spotted blue dress was quite the humiliation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this may just
and
be...
Bill should be scared.
Yeah, he should be. This may just be people who use the media. The boomerang is hitting them back. That's one of my theories. You got to be very careful. But let's just review. Hunter Biden, now, of course, turns out, that was all true. All of those emails were true. Everything on the laptop is true. Now it's generally accepted all of a sudden. Remember, we couldn't even post about it because that would be removed, like the New York Post. He also asked for $2 million plus success fees to help unfreeze Libyan assets in new emails that have been revealed.
Did you notice that this truth, it's all now all of a sudden it's all over the place, that all the laptop stuff was true to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Only came out after Joe Biden's numbers, approval numbers slipped below Kamala's.
Wait, he's negative?
Yeah, he's negative. He's 44 and she's 46.
Wow.
They're both negative. her negative's less negative.
We had another interesting not a takedown, not a purge, but definitely a slice, a gash. Chris Cuomo, accused of sexual harassment by his former boss at ABC. Do you see this?
No.
Yeah. So this was in the context of him helping his brother. What was her name? She used to be at ABC. She was his boss. Shelley Ross, former executive producer, ABC and CBS. And she wrote this op-ed in the New York Times detailing this alleged incident that happened in 2005, where Ross says Cuomo gave her a bear hug in a New York City bar and squeezed her buttock. Squeezed it. Whispering in her ear, sweet nothings such as, "It's okay, you're no longer my boss." Of course, the woman's husband was sitting right there. He did that was an awkward moment. But she did this because he apologized profusely on email, and it sounded very much like his brother. So what?
I'm sorry that if you felt that way.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to apologize. I'm so sorry that you
feel that way.
I squoze your ass and it was inappropriate.
Yes.
I'm sorry you felt it was inappropriate that I was squeezing your buns.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
And then the person who's not getting any heat is the head guy of the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes. And he's only mentioned as person one in all of the indictments for this is Revolver News, by the way, who are doing a good kick-ass job. And they assert that this Stuart Rhodes, who is the leader of the Oath Keepers, since he has not been indicted, he's mentioned everywhere, but not by name in all other indictments. It's purely person one. And they do a long dissection. The guy's basically an agent, basically a Fed.
Oh, yeah, that would be it. Exactly. That's the only reason you do that.
Of course.
Now, I'd like to know who Tech Executive One is.
Yeah, oh, gosh. We'd love that, wouldn't we? It's probably not someone spectacular. It's probably a real doofus. Don't you think?
I'm not sure. I'd like to find out. Somebody's going to have to, somebody knows outside of the Durham folk who Tech Executive One is. And also Tech Company 3. Who are they? That's either Twitter or Facebook. There's only 3 tech companies that are involved in the politics to an extreme that affect the American politics.
What was it? Where were these mentioned again? What case was this?
In the Durham case against that Sussman guy.
Right. The lawyer who lied to the FBI.
The lawyer, the Hillary lawyer who was responsible for the Russia hoax.
Yeah.
Which is back in play in some funny, odd ways. It just never ends.
Well,
these people are all despicable.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And they've captured the world. They're still figuring it out, but they got us under their thumb for a little bit now.
Yeah, no.
I think it's all going to fall apart. I think it's all going to fall apart. I don't know what they're planning with Joe, but they do not have their ducks in a row. This is messy. They're bumbling. It's messy. They're doing things that fit their agenda, like the border with Abbott. They're doing those things, but it's like, I don't know who's coordinating it, but they suck at it. It must be Susan Rice. She seems like a bumbler.
The twerp?
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab.
Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And in fact, we do have a few people to thank for show. We're getting there.
1385.
1385, indeed. Starting with Charles Fitzpatrick. And Charles is from Sacramento, California. And he needs a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Sander Limburg and Paterswolde in Holland, 11534. Sir Sean in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. That's one of those funny town names. Nice 100. Gary James in Bournemouth, Dorset, UK, 9220.
We say Bournemouth.
What did I say?
Bournemouth. Bournemouth, yeah.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Joshua Pettigrew, Sir Joshua, 7777, birthday boy. Brian Rangel, 6969. Cynthia Coran in Aptos, California, 6668. And she says, douche. Wait, I hit my sister in the mouth after listening one time. We haven't listened for about 6 weeks. We look forward to every Thursday and Thursday. Please de-douche me. De-douche Jareen Brining in San Marcos.
You've been de-douched.
David Forbes, 6006. Sean Pilichowski, probably. Pilichowski.
I think so, yeah.
And Portage, Wisconsin. Or Portage, as they call it up there. I'm absolutely sure of that. We've got a note. Please thank Carl and his buck teeth. I never would have to think it goes on with this guy. No, de-douche. He needs a R2D2 de-douching for Carl.
Oh my goodness. We don't have an R2D2. Why are you reading all these?
You've been de-douched.
We don't have an R2D2 de-douching.
No, we do have a Star Wars de-douching, but that's not R2D2. It's a Wookiee.
Why do we even have that? I mean, de-douching is de-douching, it seems to me. Surprise, the night of astonishment, wide-eyed as he is, 5444 in Yukon, Oklahoma. John Gaynor, 5280. Justin Kirk, Royal Oak, Michigan, 5150. Matthew Dropko, Sir Matthew Dropko in Delaware, Ohio, in a birthday donation. He just turned 49. He'll be getting it. That's why he did 5049.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle Williams in Mount Shasta, California. Where's the water? I got a birthday call out, 5034. Jesus Allen in Austin. Hillary Avis Lee, parts unknown. Birthday list there.
No, for Sir Proteus. Birthday for Sir Proteus.
Sir Proteus. Shane Morrison in Clark, New Jersey. 50. These are all $50 donors, and we're wrapping it up.
Hold on, let me do Christopher Rivera.
You have to do Christopher. Yes, he's an upcoming night, so he gets his note read.
Nederland, Colorado, $50. I've been a listener since episode 1. Donated off and on in the early years when I could. Have been contributing a steady $50 a month for the past couple of years. Thank you. Wanted to say thank you for keeping us all so well informed and maintaining our properly sized amygdalas. Like Adam, I got out of Austin last year and moved to the mountains of Colorado in a little town called Nederland. Check it out if you haven't heard of it. It looks like Nederland. Now that I'm out west, I'd like my night name to be Sir Wild West Pimp Style. That jingle cracks me up every single time. No special requests for the roundtable. Thank you both very much.
Wild West Pimp Style.
There you go. We'll see you on the podium in moments, Christopher.
And wrap it up with Todd Grubb in Capic, Michigan. Pamela Niemann, I'm guessing.
Almost. Nymon.
Nymon. IJ is Nymon. It's pronounced.
Well, so a little lesson. In Dutch, we have the lange ei and the korte ei. So the long ei is IJ, Nymon, and the korte ei is IE. So it would be Niemon. If it was IE instead of IJ.
Got it.
You're a native
last
speaker.
On our list is Leanne Shipley in Covington, Washington, and that's $50 from her. We want to thank these folks for being our producers for show 1370-85.
1370-85. We're getting towards 1400. Thank you, producers. That was a short list, but man, it was all together feeling good today. And thanks to all of the producers who came in under $50, mainly for, well, not really, a lot of you for reasons of anonymity. I see you, $49.99s, but also subscriptions. We got 33s, 33. We got 30s, 25s, 2021s. We got, man, someone's still doing 2018. I wonder if that's just been going since 2018. I mean, all of these.
I'm sure it has. Yeah. That's when it came out.
All of these are very much appreciated. Give yourselves a karma.
You've got karma.
And if you'd like to support us for the next show, go to
Dvorak.org/NA. It's your birthday. On No Agenda.
good list today. Sir Patrick Coble, Duke of the South, did not congratulate him on the last show. He had his birthday on September 23rd. Of course, he's so humble he would never let us know, but we figured it out and got him on. Brian Rodigger says happy birthday to his voluptuously smoking hot badass wife. She celebrated on the 24th. Matthew Dropko, 49, on the 25th. Yesterday, Brian Tweed, happy birthday to his son Scott Tweed, who was turning 40 or 4, so I guess 40. Sir Scott Littler, 50 today. Kevin Armenta celebrates today. James Hellems says happy birthday to his wife Jamie Jeek, 42 on the 27th. Joshua Pettigrew, 39 on the 27th. Sir Ronald Gardner says happy birthday to Dame Siena, Lioness of Love and Light. She will turn 2 years old on the 28th. Danielle and Jeff Williams congratulate Rebecca. Mike says happy birthday to his son John Michael Jr., who tunes 4 on the 28th. And finally, Hillary Avice Lee, I think, happy birthday to Sir Proteus, 50 years old on the 28th. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. Uh-oh. We got a jam.
Title changes, turn and face the slave. Title changes, don't wanna be a douchebag.
I unjammed the chamber. Not quite sure what was going on there. A couple of title changes. The first one, first title change is Sir Scott Littler, who came in with a fabulous donation. Baron now of Mad River Township, Champaign County in Ohio, and NashVegas. And we forgot to officially bestow the title of Viscount on Sir A.J. Rystad on the previous show. And we appreciate him writing and letting us know. And he will be on the list for today. Viscount now of Idaho, Sir A.J. Rystad. Thank you both for your support of the No Agenda Show. Then we have 1, 2, 3, there's 2. We've got 2 dames, and I count 4 knights. This is a big one today, John.
Here you go, double ledger.
Double ledger it is. Up on the podium, Gail Ebert, Christopher Ebert, Jessica Bandstra, Steve Bandstra, Richard Adams, and Christopher Rivera. All of you have qualified for the round table, the No Agenda Knights and Dames. We're glad to have you here, and I'm proud to pronounceate thee as Dame Look, Sir Spiffy, Dame Smokin' Hot Stew, Sir BNAdstra, Knight of the Nashville Aerodromes, Sir Casavant, Knight of the Big Organ, and Sir Wild West Pimp Style. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, we got Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. We also have some special requests, which includes Durdilly Beaujolais, Salmon, and Leinenkugel Harvest Patch Shandy, Meatloaf, Mashed Potatoes, Miller Lite. I'm never going to make it. Texas sheet cake and shrimp and grits, and filet and spotted cow. And, of course, you're already munching on the mutton. So have a glass of mead with that, and after you're done, and congratulations on your knighting and damings, go to noagendanation.com/rings, select the one you want, and Eric Schill will get that off to you as soon as possible. And yes, we do need, I found out, we have silver sealing wax, gold sealing wax, blue sealing wax, red sealing wax. There's some nice stuff we got. So you get the sealing wax, you get your knight or dame ring, which is a signet ring, and along with that, you get an official certificate of authenticity. Thank you again. Welcome. No Agenda, brand new Knights and Dames.
No Agenda meetups.
Yeah, parties everywhere. Yesterday, I got a note from C-Mike. And he says, hey, can you join the meetup at 4:20 via video? And I was like, well, let me see if I'm around, because typically we're out doing stuff. And I was, and so I called in. They put me on the Zoom. There were like 25 people there. I called into, or it's too early for the Fugazotos, so I just missed them. But I did see all 58 of C-Mike's children, including the ones named after us, John.
Nice.
Yeah, and handsome. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful. And one of the daughters is the Don't Enslave Me Kamala. And I complimented her on the terror and fear that she was able to conjure up in her voice, and she seemed proud of it in a very odd kind of way.
Thank you, Em.
Now the kids are pretty grown, but oh my goodness. And Dame Blackhammer has another one on the way. these guys. It's Kansas City. What's in the water up there?
In the morning, John and Adam, it's Sir Spencer Wolf, Kansas City. Just wrapped up a great KC meetup. If you count Fugazato's dog and all the human resources, there were 38 attendees from 4 states representing today, plus a virtual cameo from the Podfather himself made this meetup one of the best ones yet.
Dame DeLorean here. Love is lit.
Hi, Adam and John.
In the morning, Adam and John from Montana here at the Kansas City meetup. Having a great time, and it's like a party.
Hey, this is Kyle from Omaha. The barbecue is worth a 3-hour drive.
This is Sir Baronet John Helmer from the great state of Kansas, where we do have guns. And John, I'm not buying it.
In the morning, this is Dave Fugazzotto, Duke of America's Heartland, the Arabian Peninsula, here with my lovely bride, Dame Melody.
Hi.
And my lovely daughter, Dame Isabella.
Hi.
And our lovely dog, Rusty. John, I don't know what happened with my diction, but I'll work on it.
In the morning, this is Matt Leroy from middle of nowhere, Kansas. House buying and selling karma works. Thanks a lot.
Hi, this is Liz Leroy, enjoying that country life. And as a fellow crackpot, I need to ask Adam, please, more second half of show. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, John and Adam, my name's David, not Fugazzotto, coming to you from the Kansas City meetup. And I can't figure out who the spook is here. Does that mean it's me?
Yes.
Moletha here, ITM. It's true.
Dame Blackhammer here. Sir C. Mike's rounding up the human resources, and I'm staying as far away from Leanna Wen as possible.
Thank you for your courage.
Did she say douche at the end? I heard thank you for your courage and then douche. Let me listen.
Sir C. Mike's rounding up the human resources, and I'm staying as far away from Leanna Wen as possible.
Thank you for your courage.
I think boost. Sure. Love the kids. North Idaho. Where are you guys?
This is Scott the Jew with your North Idaho Sanity Brigade meetup report from the Growler guys in Coeur d'Alene. That's right, Adam. It's Coeur d'Alene. A quick and very appreciative shout out to Justin from the Growler guys, who was kind enough to make up for his longtime douchebaggery by taking $1 off of everybody's craft beer pours for the night. That was cool. The place is great. The conversation was wonderful.
So maybe the player should be like, say your name and where you're from, and then do one of the sound effects. I don't know. That might make it fun.
This is Jeff, out here representing Sanity in the Woods.
Torin in the morning.
Sir Snackingham of the Black Forest, representing North Idaho.
Hey, John and Adam. We'll see you here next time. This is Tyler.
Well, we're seeing John and Adam this time. We have pictures of their faces, gracing us with their presence. Beautiful. No one followed my sound effect suggestion, so I'll do it.
Here we go.
All aboard, trains good, planes bad. Woo woo!
Stay safe!
Jobs, jobs, jobs!
And jobs! Let's vote for jobs! Yay!
God.
North Idaho Sanity Brigade out!
Stay safe!
Man, those jingles, they work. We have them under our control, John. 3 more days till Halloween, Halloween.
Hey, it's Rachel. That don't make no never mind.
This is Liam. Okay.
This is Allison. I have nothing to say.
Hi, first meetup. One thing I learned tonight is don't drink from a diva cup. Thank you.
Lessons learned. Oregon Local 33. Shutting it down.
Might be over now, but I feel it still.
May everyone be loved.
Oh, getting pretty creative. Thank you for those reports. We appreciate them very much. Today, we've got a couple meetups taking place in Sumner, Washington. Sorry?
Nothing.
Oh. In Sumner, Washington, it's the Pierce... Wait a minute. September 30th. Oh, that's next Thursday. Oh, crap. We don't have anything. Today is Sunday. Thursday. I'm so confused. The 30th. Pierce County, Washington, the fall meetup, 6 o'clock at Purdy's Public House, Sumner, Washington. Got it. Also on Thursday, Aloha Luhan, no agenda style, 6 o'clock Hawaii time at the Maui Brewing Company. And in October, I'll just give you the dates and the places. The first, Cedro Woolley, Washington. The second, Texas Hill Country, Helsinki, Finland. New Braunfels, Texas. And on the 4th, Santa Cruz, California. The 9th, San Diego, Okinawa, Japan. Marshfield, Missouri. The 15th, North Carolina. The 16th, Long Beach, Cincinnati, Ohio, Nassau, Bahamas. Shoot, I would have gone to that if we weren't at the Bastrop County meetup on the 16th.
Nice.
It's going to be out of control. It's going to be so. I hear that they have a marching band and a drill team who will be performing for us
in Bastrop.
Yeah, it's going to be. We got the bouncy castle. They have everything.
Also, a fire eater. I heard
fire eater,
a close in magician. One of those guys who can. All of a sudden, a giant bolt shows up on the table.
The 17th, Orlando, Florida. The 22nd, Monterey, Seaside, California. The 23rd, the Cleveland area. The 23rd, also Charleston, South Carolina. And the Oregon Local 33 meetup will take place on October 30th. Still plenty of time to jam some more in. There's no limit to how many meetups we can have on a single day, as long as they're in different places. And they happen around the world. This is a producer initiative from the NoAgendaMeetups.com site. Is it Phil? Mike? Can't remember. Why do I want to say Phil? Who set that up? I'll have to look it up. Apologies if I got it wrong. It's a really cool phenomenon, and it's helping people. You know, when you can't listen to the show, you got to keep the amygdala correctly sized. Go to a No Agenda meetup. If you can't find one near you, set one up yourself. It's easy. NoAgendaMeetups.com. They're like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be, triggered or held lame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
I'm over ISO'd today. I'm going to say it right up front.
I have none.
Woo! All right, then you get to choose from one of mine. Here we go.
Their brain is bonkers.
We're completely stuffed.
That's just British stuff. I like this one from the meetup.
That don't make no never mind.
That's from our meetup report. I like that one too. Of course, you could expect.
I love pooping.
There's that one always. We got Rachel.
The Cyber Ninjas.
And
thank you for your courage.
And that's all I got.
It's cute. I would go with the I don't make no never mind.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good old.
Oh, I lost you. At the very end. Oh, there you go. You're back. You're back. You there? You with me?
Was I gone? Was I gone?
For just a second. You just popped out for a second. I have another ISO.
Internet.
Oh, I have another ISO, but I want to play the clip that goes with it first. We're not going to get to climate change today, although I've got plenty to talk about. Volcanoes always a part of climate change, and we have the one in what's that in Spain? This is the Canary Islands. That volcano.
Canary Island, yeah, one of the Canary Islands.
Now, do you know the name of this? Do you know the name of this volcano?
I once did.
Okay, well, it's spelled Cumbre. Vieja.
Cumbra Viage.
Something, yeah. Well, here's the official pronunciation from the report.
A week after the Cumbra Vieja.
It's like the guy's having a stroke.
A week after the Cumbra Vieja volcano erupted on La Palma Island in Spain's
Cumbra Vieja.
A week after the Cumbra Vieja.
Cumbra Vieja. I want to practice one more time. Cumbra Vieja.
Cumbra Vieja.
Cumbra Vieja. Jeez. Okay. We'll keep it at that. Don't make me know. Never mind. Anyhow, no way, nowheres.
All right. I have maybe two clips I could play at the end. I thought we should do a little UN report. This is on the UN's trying to make everything. Now we got a problem with air pollution. I never knew this because I used to work for the Air Pollution Control District in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that most air pollution has been pretty much toned down because it all stems from the 1950s. All the air pollution districts stem from the 1950s and the London die-off.
Oh, yes.
The London fog.
Well, you explain that so people understand. I don't think everyone knows about the London fog. The London fog.
in the I think it was 53, 54, 55, there was this, London always had a pollution problem. In fact, the first time I went to London, which was in, I believe, 73, they used a lot of coal power, and you would go there and your clothes were dirty by 3:00 in the afternoon. You had to change your shirt. everything was just your sleeves at the bottom of your wrist. Everything is just black. And I guess before that, in the 50s, they were using a lot of coal power, and they had these inversion layers where you get a fog, and then the gas from the power plants would drop down into the public. It killed hundreds of people. I don't have the number, but it was a big, I could look it up. I should know it, actually. And after that happened, the whole world got freaked out, and they all started dealing with true air pollution. And all the air pollution districts in California formed around the mid-50s.
Sucking in.
And I remember when I worked for the Bay Area Air Pollution Control District, I went back to the University of California and found their founding papers.
Mm-hmm.
And it said that we started in 1955, and we hope to clear the problem up and then dissolve the agency.
Ooh.
Which is typical of all these things. They were going to dissolve this, and they never dissolve the agencies.
No.
They never do it.
Of course they don't. Why would they? That's money in the bank.
But they always present it to the taxpayers. Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to dissolve the agency.
Yeah.
And it should have been dissolved in 1970 or something along those lines. And no, that wasn't going to happen. And the same thing like the Bay Bridge, when they built the Bay Bridge, or the Bay and the Golden Gate Bridge, both, they had big ads. Don't worry about it. It's going to be paid for by the gasoline taxes. You never have to pay a toll. The toll, seriously, the toll on the Golden Gate Bridge.
It's all paid for. No worries, no toll.
$6.
I was going to say
$6 to go across the Golden Gate Bridge. So anyway, so that's when it all began. It all began with that, and so the air pollution problem worldwide is not anything like it was. But here we go. Here's our air pollution report.
The World Health Organization is warning that air pollution can cause harm at lower levels than previously thought. The agency revised its guidelines today for the first time in 15 years. It likened air pollution to poor diet and smoking, and it said 90% of the world's people are at risk.
Thanks, UN.
90% of the world's people?
Yes, but not if you're vaccinated.
Well, they haven't gone that far yet.
I have a clip. This is the Red Shield, because it's not their original family name. Jacob Rothschild, who is old as wood, and he's being interviewed with some piece he's doing with his daughter Hannah,
and he still floats around town.
Is that a pun? Is that a pun? The floating wood. Yes.
No. I mean, that's funny though. That was a natural. No, he's actually, active, wanders around, gets confronted every once in a while by some irritated citizen.
Is that Jacob? I thought that was the other.
No, Jacob, the old man. This guy's 90 something.
Well, he kind of. Oh yeah. He may even be 100 something. His daughter.
I met two of the other Rothschilds, Nathan and one of the other ones.
Oh really? Was that at the Bilderberg?
No, it wasn't at the Bilderberg. I haven't been invited. I was at a wine tasting.
Was it at the Owl thing?
We were tasting. No, it wasn't at the Owl place either. It was at a wine tasting of the Lafitte Rothschild wines, and it was very interesting.
Oh, that must have been fantastic. Can you still get into a tasting like that? I'd love to be in the Rothschild tasting. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's for the trade.
Listen to what he says here as he's chatting with his daughter.
I mean, I think the phenomenal change that's come about in the last 2-3 years is there probably isn't a child over the age of 6 that isn't deeply concerned about climate change. I mean, there were reports in the past, but now the focus of the world are on those problems, whether it's droughts, whether it's storms, whether it's the seaside being ruined, just undermining life.
Everything. And in a way, Corona has slightly, I'm afraid, eclipsed the importance of this conversation. No one's saying Corona is incredibly devastating, but actually we do need to think long-term about the planet.
Yeah. And it's a distraction, well, more than a distraction, it's a tragedy, but it does have that knock-on effect.
Truth comes out, it's a distraction. We have to move on to the climate change. It's a distraction. I introduced us to Doconomy.
It's a good one.
I introduced us to Doconomy on a previous show.
I don't remember.
It's the carbon people who track your payments. And they'll let you know if you're...
Oh, right, and then they cut off your credit. I think it was the last show.
Yeah, I was thinking on the last show. So that's the overall group. Now, the overall group, the Doconomy Group, along with MasterCard, has created the Cards and Payments Challenge.
I'm Brian Luciani, the head of Rise, created by Barclays.
My name is Mattias Wikström. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Doconomy.
My name is Brennan Spellasy, the CEO of Patch.
My name is Sue Kelsey. I'm the global head of product at MasterCard, leading inclusive and sustainable digital economies.
Welcome to the Climate FinTech Cards and Payments Challenge. Advancing climate action with every transfer, payment, and card swipe.
At MasterCard, with almost 3 billion cardholders across the planet, there's enormous opportunity for impact, where people, economies, and the planet can all thrive.
From offsets as a reward to environmentally friendly e-commerce and blockchain experiences, we're looking forward to powering a wide range of products and features that unleash the green consumer.
This is an unprecedented opportunity to get your climate solutions visibility.
If you want to deliver impact at scale, come join us.
Can't wait to see you in New York.
And best of luck with your applications.
For the benefit of the world and the people on this planet, good luck with your application.
There you go. Every single payment processor is going to join in on this. It's part of the World Economic Forum group. They're all going to join in on this. Oh, that's great. Let's let everybody know how bad their climate pollution is and their carbon usage, and we'll start cutting you off and sending you warnings, nudging you towards good places. I'm sure it will affect your credit, how much you purchase that is bad carbon. Don't let this happen, people. Go away from a bank if it does that. Leave the bank.
Cash.
Bitcoin.
Remember, this is probably when we first, in the era or before we began this show, 14 years ago, when they had these machines at the airport where you could buy your carbon credits for the air flight you were taking. You punch in, I'm going to Boston. Oh, it's going to cost you $14, and you give them $14, and that money just disappeared. What a game! What a business!
Yeah,
what a scam!
Well, yes, it is. It's a great scam, but it's working.
Well, this scam is going to work as follows: you're going to have two competing products. Coca-Cola and Pepsi, let's say. One of them is going to give you is going to be a charge against your climate bill of a 0.3, and the other one's going to be a 0.4, or depending on who bribes who, the other one will be a 0.4 and the other one will be a 0.3. This is leading into some sort of gray market of these numbers. So if you give us this much money, you'll get a better, your number will go down, so it won't be charged against the person. This is a bullshit deal.
I'm telling you, do you recall that there's a bill now, and it may even get rammed into this $3.5 trillion thing. There's a bill that effectively takes the credit reporting away from the arguably 3 credit rating agencies. So the government will now do it, and they already have said as a part of this proposed bill, we're not just going to look at your, at your actual payment history. No, we're going to see if you're a good doobie or not. So that comes right into it. This is all part of it, and people just going like a deer caught in the headlights. What?
China.
Yeah, it's China indeed. So. It's all on
that's
deck.
Nice and depressing. Thanks for that.
Well, do you want to do something? You got something funny before?
Do I have anything funny?
Hello, Deutschland. We're looking at your results coming in. They have elections today. By the way? I don't know. CNN is talking about Senator Manchin from West Virginia because that's the only important thing in the world. I don't know.
I was watching this. I only have 10 seconds of a commercial on something about hand treatment, and they had John Elway, who's old quarterback. I guess his hands are all grizzled up or something, and this 10 seconds is kind of like it makes
you're dropping out, John. You got to talk in the mic, man. Seriously.
I'm talking in the mic.
No.
Well, anyway, Elway's got in this commercial. He's talking about some hand treatment because his hands are falling apart.
Just want a hand special.
I'm sorry.
And it sounds like he's talking about something else. Tell me if you think the same.
I can only imagine.
So when a hand specialist told me about non-surgical treatments, it was a total game changer. Like you, my hands have a lot more to do. Learn more at faxonhand.com today.
Please. What? Branch hand, anybody? Yeah. I feel you.
His hands now have a lot more to do.
John,
I always thought that about Elway. He came from Stanford, you know.
We are forever 12 and proud of it. I don't care what anyone says. That's your deconstruction for today, my people. Next on NoAgendaStream.com, we got Fun Fact Friday. Yay. I love that show. That's a great dad with his daughter there. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's a great show. That's a good show.
It really is good. Let's see. End of show mixes. Sound guy Steve. I do a little... I don't even know who did these. Some of these older ones. The S&J Shanghai. My goodness, I'll have to put it all in the credits. I'm playing some older ones for you today.
Classics in
a couple
here
of classics.
I heard.
That's right. Coming to you from the heart of Texas Hill Country, FEMA Region number 6 in the governmental maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I can tell you to use cash. Use cash. I'm John C. Dvorak.
Use Bitcoin. Talk to you on Thursday. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. Until then, adios, mofos! And such.
Insanity. Psychosis can describe a state of having a change in behavior, change in perception.
Insanity. Nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
Dementia equals brain kill.
We are determined that we are going to deal with climate change.
Insanity.
By 2020, make sure all our electricity is zero emissions. My predecessor signed an agreement with the Taliban.
Insanity.
We have to hold people accountable.
Insanity.
There could be speech problems, like when somebody talks in a way that is not concise, they go on longer than they need to.
I really mean this.
Insanity.
I mean this sincerely. It's not a political, it's a reality.
Insanity.
And it's not just people in these alleys working their butts off.
Is the person mentally competent?
You know,
Insanity.
It looks like a tornado. They don't call them that anymore.
Insanity.
I've been on the telephone an awful lot.
Insanity.
You know, I spend a lot of time traveling around the world. What do you think they're thinking?
There are other symptoms of psychosis that are not always recognized as psychosis.
This is not a joke. That's a joke, but it's not a joke. Not a joke.
There are a bunch of things that are just not true there.
This goes so far beyond anybody's willing to speak to.
Oh, he does definitely look insane.
Insanity.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Why the hell would I take a test?
Insanity. This is an excellent question.
The first part of your question was, I can't remember now.
Insanity. Things get jumbled up and confusing.
Talk about it in normal terms.
Insanity.
This is overwhelming evidence to sustain that. It's really kind of basic.
Insanity.
Everybody knows
There's a lot of words, but they don't really say anything.
that's underway. Just like the other question is illogical.
Insanity.
They use more words than are necessary, and they don't really ever seem to get to a point.
I come from a tradition in the Senate. You shake your hand. That's it.
Insanity.
Keep your word. Well, guess what? To make sure we're going to fix that damn bridge of yours.
Insanity.
If you're gonna spray, get some cooks. By the way, it's called popping bottles. Popping bottles in the club. Popping bottles in the club. Crystal, Dom Perignon, Dom. Popping bottles in the club. If you're gonna spray, get some cooks. It's called bottles in the club. Popping bottles, popping Crystal, Dom Perignon, Dom. Bottles in the club. Bottles in the club. Popping bottles in the club.
You might die sucking in soot. You might die sucking in soot.
Everybody's talking about the sweaty pale monkey, swinging from a tree and he's moving like a donkey. Places to go, got people to see, got deals to hustle, get the do-re-mi. I ain't ever seen nothing like he done before. He's a moving violation, breaking in your back door. What you don't know, what you don't see, he got mouths to feed, he got bills to pay. Looking real hot and he's trying to settle the product. Face bags up a bird, kinda like a robot. Face bag! He knows where you're going and he knows where you've been. Tracking how you got fat, how you got thin. Never too close, never too far to open up your webcam. There you are, knowing how you vote, watching every kiss, saying happy birthday that he'll never miss. You never miss. He's a Zuckerberg.
I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here. It's not enough to just connect people. We have to make sure that those connections are positive. It's not enough to just give people a voice. We need to make sure that people aren't using it to harm other people or to spread misinformation. And it's not enough to just give people control over their information. We need to make sure that the developers they share it with protect their information too. It will take some time to work through all the changes we need to make across the company, but I'm committed to getting this right.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
That don't make no never mind.